When it comes to Fasnacht, we are anything but neutral. Here for the parade. Disappointed, I hope. Willkommen. Welcome to Helvetia, home of America's finest Fasnacht celebration. We are still preparing for the festivities, but do return soon. Our sausages are the worst.
You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
There you are, big boy.
Hello and welcome to the 403rd edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks tonight. We have special returning guest Clint. What's up, Clint?
Good evening, all.
Welcome back, sir. And we also have tonight Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hey, greets everybody.
And Ray. What's going on, Ray?
Hello.
Hey, tonight we are finishing up some Fasnacht chatter. We also have a little bit of Fallout 4 survival mode we'll get into. I've prepared a little bit of sort of an exercise / game. I just need I'm not sure if it's a game or if you guys are just actually helping me learn stuff. So it might be more of an exercise than a game. But Jess has something here. Would you squeeze in here sheep squatch stories? Do you have a little game or a story? What do we have with that?
I'm not even sure what it is, but I might have been playing with AI a bit more, and we kind of wrote a sheep squatch story together. So, didn't know if you wanted me to read that or not.
Oh, this will be good. This can be good. All right, so we'll get into it. And we have actual news to get into, Iguana Bits updates and calendars, all sorts of stuff to get into tonight. But shouts, scorecation stuff, and a special tribute to all of those community members who were nice enough to lend their voice to the Fallout Feed Choir project that I will be wrapping up this weekend. So if you'd like a last-ditch effort to get all of you guys in here, your voices on the song. If you want to sing on a Red Queen Hypothesis Fallout-themed Christmas song, please go ahead and get in contact with us, thefalloutfeed@gmail.com, and we will slap your voice on and have a good time, everyone singing. So, all right, let's go ahead and roll into the show here a little bit, guys. Clint, since we haven't heard from you in a good long while, it's been a while since you've been on the show, why don't we go ahead and get a little update? What have you been doing gaming-wise recently, and what sort of stuff you've been getting into?
Well, gaming-wise, it's just the usual. I'm a Fallout-only person, so 76, doing the weeklies now because I've been on scorecation for a month or so. So Charlene and I just hop on usually on, it's a Wednesday for us, the new weeklies come out, and we generally charge through them all and get them done in the one day. And except for the ones that you have to come back for a few days.
Yeah. So why the preference of the weeklies but ignore the dailies? What's the benefit there?
Well, I suppose it keeps us. I mean, we're paying Bethesda to play the game with the Fallout First, so we sort of feel obliged to drop in once a week when the season's not on and play the game, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes total sense, right?
Yeah. So apart from that, we get the dailies done as well, and if I do a lot of playing Fallout 4, and Charlene doesn't do that one. So, but if I switch over to 76, she'll come in and join me, and we both do that together.
That's good. Good deal.
We can't do Fallout 4 together, of course.
Well, there's those Skyrim mods now that you can sort of play multiplayer Skyrim. How are we? What's the frontier looking like here with Fallout 4 mods, the tandem playing together?
Will
that ever happen?
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, of course not.
Yep.
And I've heard the Skyrim one sucks anyway, so who knows? Ray, you ever tried that Skyrim one?
I haven't played it, but I've seen a few videos on it. It looks like it works pretty well.
Oh yeah? Why can't we do that in Fallout 4 then? Why I assume that they're similar operating systems. They can just slap the sort of bases of the mods together and take the code and just sort of make it work, right? Snap your fingers. And ta-da.
Charlie and I could play Nate and Nora. That'd be good.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I'd love that.
Yeah, you got to rearrange the start of the show because only don't want one of us getting killed.
Yeah.
Of course, there is a mod for that, and I've played it. That I think you have to play Nate and Nora. Once you leave, someone comes in and stimpaks her, and you find her at Abernathy Farm.
What?
And then you go off and yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Never heard of that one.
She becomes a companion, and away you go. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
If you use the Start Me Up mod, it prompts you to go back to the vault to start if you want to start the Sean quest line. And when you do, if you're a male character, you find a dead female that's Nora. And you get a holotape off of her. And if you're playing a female character, you find the Nate character laying there, and you get a holotape off of him. And that starts the main storyline.
Yeah, but they're dead though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this other one has them alive. So they got stimpacked after you left the. I don't know.
Can you more than just sort of say hi and interact with them? Can you like recruit them as a companion and follow? Hey, let's go take on the waste. Let's go find Sean together.
Yeah, it's a fully voiced. They use the voices from the characters and mucked around with it. It's quite good.
A follower mod out of it. That's cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed playing it that way. But,
very cool.
Currently, I'm enjoying doing the survival mode, which I hadn't done for a long time, and sort of got back into it. And then you guys started getting into it as well. And so,
I blame Ray.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying the fact that survival mode makes you eat and drink, because otherwise, in the easier versions, you only have to eat if you get injured, and your health goes down from getting shot or whatever, and then you have to eat. But in survival, you have to eat and drink all the time, and that brings it a little bit closer to real.
Well, it only causes more problems too. It's just you're introducing, diseases, all sorts of good stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, and I've got to learn where there's a lot of beds. A lot of places where there's beds. Some I've been surprised to find, but
I'm starting to learn where they are. I feel like they've removed a bunch from, like, I turn around a corner and I look down. I'm like, I know that there used to be a sleeping bag in this corner. Where the fuck did it go? Like, do they remove beds in survival mode that you know of? Like, I feel like some are missing.
I think you don't want sleeping bags anyway. They give you a disease.
Oh, I just want to fucking save.
Yeah. I found there's a house in what's the place called? Matic. When you're going into the glowing sea, there's a house there. It's got a bunk bed in it upstairs.
Oh, nice.
And I get the final sleep in there, and that gets me into the cave and back out again.
Are you playing without any sort of extra save? Like, no, you don't have a camping tent or anything. You're literally just finding beds everywhere.
Yeah, just finding beds. Yeah.
Oh, that's really tough. That is a really tough way to play it.
I do build up the character at the start before going into survival mode, so I'll give it a few extra perks and use console commands to make extra scrap and what have you to build with. up the carrying capacity
Right.
a little
Yep,
bit.
that makes sense.
Little things like that. A really decent weapon that's a one-shot killer from the start.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess she's a bit of a superwoman.
Nice. Well, I was mentioning
that's what heroes are made of.
I was mentioning on the show last week. I said, well, Clint mentioned that he beefs up his character first and then goes into survival mode. And I mentioned to Ray and Jess, I was like, I think he makes a bunch of antibiotics, and but then Ray's like, no, antibiotics aren't a thing until you kick on survival mode. Is that so? You can't.
That's correct.
You can't craft antibiotics beforehand or whatever before you go. That sucks. I find that is the most useful of just because I have the sleeping bag mod. So the little camping tent, it doesn't give you a nice clean bed. It gives you a sleeping bag to sleep on. So I get diseases almost every fucking time I sleep. So I find antibiotics are, the most useful thing, and I can't ever find them. And my intelligence or whatever is 1, so I'd have to beef up to chemist in order to be able to make them myself, and that's level 7 or something. Just it's not really worth it I'll just buy them every time I see a doctor, but not all doctors have them. I would assume that all doctors would have a few on hand, but no, sometimes they don't. And you're like, God damn it, did I buy you out last time and you haven't replenished your stock, or do you just not have them? I can't tell.
I haven't used them all a great deal.
Yeah, because you don't do the sleeping on the ground thing as much as I do.
Yeah, I'd find I don't sleep on the ground. I'll find a bed. I'll bypass a sleeping bag and chance it. And yeah, occasionally that fails, and you get killed somewhere, and oh god, I've got to go back 3 hours worth of play or something.
See, I find that to be an issue. I don't want to go back 3 hours anymore. That's the first couple days I played without the mod, and I was just like, I can't keep doing this, especially if we're doing a roundtable or something, and we have an assigned set of quests we need to get through. I'm just not going to have time to fuck up and be like, oh crap, I just wasted 3 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. See, I'm playing survival mode in my own time at my own pace, so it doesn't really matter. You just I'll spend a few hours playing, and what I get done, and it's not important if I don't. So it's just a fun way to play for me now. Mind you, I'm currently playing another character, another playthrough it's just in extra hard mode, but she is not in survival. But that's to do what Ray was suggesting and leave Preston and the gang sitting in the museum. And that's brought a few differences so far. Thing like I went to I went and cleared the town of Concord, and then just left them there, didn't go back in to finish off. And a bit later I went to Abernathy Farm to start the quest to go and get the locket and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask about the Minutemen, and it's basically, what's the Minutemen?
Who are they?
And, Abernathy mentions Preston. And they say, oh, Preston, he's holed up in Concord. He's having trouble with some raiders there. That's what the character says.
How would he know that? Does Preston writing letters or something? What the fuck?
No idea.
Setting up signal flares, because you could see a signal flare from Concord to Abernathy Farm. So maybe he's shooting up in the sky.
Because your character's been there and helped him.
You see him on the balcony, right? You see him outside, and he says, "Hey, come inside." I forgot about that, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if he. Now you got me. I don't know if he actually mentions Preston Garvey, but he does talk about Minutemen, and maybe the character says Preston Garvey. Oh yeah, he's holed up in Concord with some raiders.
Oh, you mentioned that. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah, I'll have to go and do it again to make sure.
Yeah, I still haven't been into Concord. I've just been going around it the whole time. Maybe I should actually walk my ass through there.
Well, you get the bobblehead if you go in and help them out.
Yeah, I should.
But then, like Ray says, leave them there.
And you can also, I just did it where I went in and then I used all of the the angry comments. So, all the right hand. So basically I told him, no, I'm not going to help you. And then I went over and picked up the bobblehead.
I said, hey, that's ours.
When I went outside, I just started, shooting the raiders, and I did jump down onto the balcony where Preston stands, and I was in power armor, so of course it sends out the shockwaves, and then he gets all pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh man, I forgot there's that power armor and the vertibird upstairs and everything. Man, I need to go through Concord, it looks like.
Yeah, I didn't use that. And you won't you don't start it off until you rip the minigun off the vertibird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that starts all of the raiders over again. So you've got to do that.
Oh, does it cause them to respawn? I guess I never really thought about the two things being connected, but it must.
Yeah. If you walk out, if you leave the power armor and leave the minigun and just walk out onto that balcony there,
they won't be back.
The raider on the building opposite doesn't show up. The one on the rooftop there, and I'm not sure about who's downstairs on the street, but I said, oh, there's no one there. So went back, got the minigun, turned around, and hey, boss, there's one up here.
Out of nowhere. They have that minigun. They've got a motion sensor on it or something.
Yep. But doing it without the Minutemen has caused another problem that you're very familiar with, Andrew, which is Jamaica Plain.
How are the Minutemen connected to Jamaica Plain? Because yes, I've been having trouble there.
Yeah, well, Preston at some stage gives you the job to go and take over Jamaica Plain, or you do it as a Minuteman type thing once you've started that. But I went to Somerville just because I was running down the
glow there,
the western side of the map, and taking them all, and went to Somerville, and she said, we've got a problem nearby. Would you go and do Jamaica Plain?
I thought you said nearby.
Well,
it's not that far away.
It's on the map.
It's across the swamp.
Like I was saying last week, the Fallout 4 map is so much smaller and condensed, and you have a new happening every 50 paces. So things aren't nearly as far as they are in 76 by any means, but I just find it
takes a while when you can't fast travel.
Yeah, and I find it dangerous too, because there's lots of stuff. The more stuff you interact with, the more chances there are that the bad guy is going to pop out of nowhere, and oh fuck, I haven't saved in 2 hours. God damn it. But it's too late. Once you see the bad guys, it's oh no, you can't sleep with an enemy nearby. I'm like, so you run away as fast as you can.
Just have high agility so that you can run away.
Run away, throw the tent down. See, is this far enough? No. Okay, pick it back up, run another 100 feet, throw it down again. Is this far enough? Oh yeah, I can sleep now. I must have ran far enough away.
So what happened when I got to Jamaica Plain? Of course, all of the ghouls are there, and if you go into the workshop, it says you need to clear the enemies from this location.
Yeah.
So run around, did all that, and there's one who is marked, which is the one upstairs in the museum. And once you get him, went back to the workshop, and it said you cannot use this workshop yet, which is different from you need to clear the enemies from this location.
You cannot use this workshop yet. Okay. Huh.
Yeah. So
see, that's very interesting.
I was stuck there, and I got out of it. Now, I don't know if this is a mod or not, but when you go to the workshop, you've got select it, or what is it? What's the other thing? I can't think now. But there's 2 options there, and the one on the right lets you do it. Hang on. I've got it.
You can still access the build mode then.
Yeah.
Huh. But why would it even say you cannot use this workshop yet then?
It's manage. Take the workshop or manage the workshop.
Oh, is it because of a mod you have installed, most likely? Like
I
Sim Settlements or
think
something?
so. No, I don't have Sim Settlements. I did have workshop management software, and so I switched that off, and it didn't make any difference. It was the option was still there.
That's weird.
So I need someone who's got no mods, Ray.
Yeah.
to check that.
Yeah, that would make a big difference. I mean, technically, even we do on our Xbox installs, but if we have a fresh install happening, we could probably tell. But yeah, I guess I don't really remember that on the menu, but it's been a little while.
So,
I mean, I've got 130 mods. I don't want to go through and delete them all.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's a list to troubleshoot. Oof.
Plus, you know how it is with those lists. Sometimes once you install something, even if you uninstall it, it'll stay on the menu.
Yeah, and that might be the case with this one. I just uninstalled it like through Vortex, and it stayed there as having the option to manage the workshop. And through that, there's several different things you can do, and one of them is take ownership of it.
Nice. Now, you mentioned that your their main bad guy ghoul was marked. You had like a quest marker on him.
Yeah.
Is that also mod related or perception related or what? Because I never got when I went to the workshop, it always said, you cannot, you need to clear enemies from this location. And I thought, oh man, I've got something bugged. I just one clipped through a wall. I can't find one somewhere. But it turns out it was just, there were a couple sleeping upstairs in the museum. I just didn't find the back staircase to go up. But once I finally found that staircase and went up and I killed them, then now I can use the workshop just fine. I never got you cannot use this workshop yet. But I never did get any sort of marker indicating where those guys are, even when I was like right next to them or whatever. It was like I'm crouched, I'm looking at them. And is that because my perception is 1? Is that because of some mod you are running? Is that because of what? Like, why was it never indicated the location of the main ghoul that I needed to kill in order to get
Did
ownership?
Anybody send you to Jamaica Plain, or did you just go there?
I just walked there, so there was no.
So see, he was sent there by Somerville Place.
Okay, so that was an activated quest at that point. Then
in 76, we get an activated quest just by showing up. In Fallout 4, I guess that doesn't happen the same.
Interesting. Yep. Okay. No. All right, so it would have been more helpful had I gone to. Well, I haven't talked to Preston yet, so the Somerville Place people, I guess.
You still didn't get the you cannot use this workshop yet.
No, I never got that message. Okay. I got you need to clear the enemies from this location, but once I finally found those ghouls upstairs, it was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, fine. So I've already got some beds down and the recruitment beacon up, and I was like, oh crap, you people have no food. So now I'm off to Warwick Homestead to get these people some crops so I can plant over at Jamaica Plains.
We call it Warwick. But yeah,
is it? Did I say it wrong? How was it? Did I say Warwick?
In the game, they say Warwick as well. But there's a town near us here in Queensland, and it's called Warwick. Yeah.
Yep. Which
English
one is Willow?
Pronunciation.
Is he Warwick Davis or Warwick Davis?
Ooh.
Warwick.
Okay.
Because he's English.
Yeah. So I don't think he pronounced the W.
Yeah.
But is it written and just not pronounced? Is that how that works?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Gloucestershire, how the English
You
do
mean
it.
Gloucestershire?
We were just joking about Massachusetts because Lee, of course, is in Massachusetts, and someone said Natick, and he's like Natick in chat. And I'm like, it's not as bad as Worcester, which is, of course, spelled Worcester, but we say Worcester in New England.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Natick instead of Natick. What about Neonset? How is that fucking town supposed to be pronounced?
Yeah, Neonset sounds right.
Neonset? Like, I see that word pop up, and I'm like, is it... How would they say it? Non-set? No,
I think the Y's in there a little bit. We'll see what Lee says, but yeah, I'd say Neonset.
Neonset. Yeah. I just wondered by there.
Yeah, as you put Gloucester. Or really, we'd say Gloucester most of the time.
Yeah, instead of Gloucester.
Gloucestershire ham. Winchester, Ting, Fieldville.
So... Anyway, you were in Warwick.
Yeah, getting some poop tomatoes because it's the richest soil in town.
Mm-hmm.
I know. So that's I was down there.
It's another one that acts weird if you're not sent there by Preston.
Crap.
He doesn't.
Well, they told me to go kill the super mutants, but I wasn't sent there by anyone, so I don't know if a quest will activate. Where is that? That's really annoying.
If they ask you to go kill super mutants, you'll probably be able to get the workshop.
Yeah. Well, that's my next step, I suppose. You playing any other stuff in the game there, Clint?
No, that's about all. Just that's 2 playthroughs at once at the moment. I alternate.
That's great.
Depending on my mood. Plus 76, so keeps me busy.
Good stuff. How about you, Jess? What have you been getting into recently? What you been playing this week?
Well, I've got a decent amount of 76 and even some non-Fallout games. In 76, last weekend went around, we did the PC cat fights after we'd done the Xbox ones. That was fun. A little bit lower energy. It's funny. We had a bad server. There were some major server issues there where on PC I have a few more, and it's probably just me because I'm not there all the time. But things like occasionally emotes not working, whatever. Well, the one thing I get there pretty often is the trade glitch, where you can't trade with somebody. You look at them, you try to press Y or use the key and it won't work. Do you ever see that, Clint or Ray?
Yeah, occasionally, but not very often.
I think Ray's like secretly smiling like you'd have to want to trade with people.
Yeah, I can't remember the I cannot remember the last time
you'd have to be
that.
in 76.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I rarely trade with people that way anyway. If I want to do something, I'll drop it in a baggie for them.
As a mechanic, it's kind of the worst because, we don't have a safe double confirm trade system anyway. Most of the people who use it are generally newer players who just want to look at your stuff and request your best items. So it's just annoying most of the time. But for cat fights, we do it just to check inventory to make sure there's no contraband because, you can't go in there all chemmed up. We're not a raider fight night, okay? we're fair fights. But so I had that going on. But then there was another one that a couple of the fighters had where they couldn't even use their crits. So they'd be in there, but their crit bar wouldn't fill up at all. So that was one I hadn't really seen before, and it happened for multiple fighters. So it was an interesting night, but still good fights, good times, really fun.
Was it both fighters had that problem?
In one fight, in one match with the heavyweights, only one did. But then in the second fight,
good
both
for the
did.
other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It was. She only took advantage of it once and then realized. But yeah, she handily won anyway, so it worked out. Exactly.
So it was a real feature-y server.
Very. It was fully featured. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, I went through. So you remember how I mentioned a week ago we played through the BOS quest line? Like I did the last half of that on my main character, doing Steel Rain with Marigolds.
Marigolds, right.
So this Sunday we had another date and we went in and we finished Wastelanders. So she hadn't done that on her character yet. She'd done a lot of Wastelanders, of course, but the last quest she ended up choosing the Raiders. Played both sides as far as you could and then had to make a choice. But it'd been a while. So she went with the Raiders. And you know how when you do that, there's actually more to it than you expect. Because you say, okay, Meg, I'm ready to go. Let's toss this vault. But then you end up meeting Lou, and he's been hogtied, and there's Yao Guai next to him, and you get sent off to a bunch of places, and then you got to go, track down Lev, who is made off with the actual, the detonator, I think, or the dynamite.
It has been so long since I've done it. Is this like the Chinese stealth suit and all that stuff? God,
the Chinese stealth suit is settler side, and that's a step before. But they have the same kind of double thing. Basically, on both quest lines, when you go to complete it and actually say, okay, I'm ready to do the vault, there's a complication. In one, I think it's Penny gets kidnapped on the Wastelander side, I think, if I remember. And then on the Raiders side, Lou gets double-crossed by someone who thinks this is a good opportunity to take over from Meg. It's her second in command, a Russian guy named Lev.
Oh, right.
And the name of the quest is From Russia with Lev. Great name. Love it. So anyway, we did all that, got in, and there were, there are always a few features. And so it took a little bit to get him to actually have the item we need. We had to load twice, but then that worked. Well, just once extra time, 2 times total. Then we did everything and went into the vault. Well, that was fun because you know how, especially on the Raider side, there is potential to lock up when you're going through Vault 79. Andrew, was it you or one of our other friends? I know you were there where we had at least 1 or 2 vault raids that we had to leave and go back in to finish.
It's been so goddamn long since I've done any
It's
of that
been
stuff.
1 week since it's been a while.
Man,
So
2 years since I did that shit.
exactly. So, well, you're in there with Johnny Heartthrob and Gail and Rah Rah, and so you get through, and you know,
Oh my
the
god,
chamber.
rah rah! There's
She
so
goes
many
in with
fucking
you.
characters.
Yeah, there are a lot of characters on the creator side, which is what's fun. So when you blow the door falls down. Actually, one time when we did it with Clint was there, and Clint and Charlie, didn't both of you stand up and let the door fall on your head like you knew it was coming? Am I totally making that up? Like when you ran it a second time?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it might have been another couple I play with, but
It's like the same thing. We're not
Yeah.
on Xbox.
no, it would have been on a PC run. But this was like almost 2 years ago when it came out. You know, like 6 months after maybe. So anyhow,
I've been
it's-
asleep since then.
get in and you know we went through the mission, but they did the thing where the biggest point of possible locking up is at the point when you get into the main room of the vault and you've gone through the first security, and Johnny Bravo and Gail and Rara have to get into a room and go through security, and then you have to kind of liaise with the secret police, the secret service people, I mean, and have conversations. Well, sometimes he doesn't get into the room, and that happened with Marigolds twice. So the first time we left the instance entirely and hop service, which meant we had to redo the whole thing. Then it happened
fuck.
again, and this time we didn't leave the server. We just left the instance, went back in, and luckily it saved our progression up to that point. And they got into the room. But there are a lot of points of failure there because you have 3 or 4 characters you have to animate and special conversations that have to happen. And so that's a hard one, kind of like you're talking about, making sure you do the thing to make it active. Like you grab the minigun, you know, or you click the thing that makes James Bond go into the, Johnny, I'm forgetting what's his actual name. Johnny
Bravo.
Johnny
Two
Bravo.
Guns. Yeah. I can't, Wesson, that's it. Johnny
Smith and
Appleseed, Johnny
Johnny
Bond,
Appleseed, right,
James
yes.
Bravo. Yeah, Johnny Heartthrob. Hell yeah, says Marigolds. Exactly. Oh, that James Bondage looking guy, whatever you want to call him. Anyway,
Johnny
so
Two Guns.
yes, Wesson, I think is the actual name. Two Guns Wesson. He has a nickname. So anyway, you go in there, and once you get past that part, it's not as bad. We had to go through and trigger. We got to the point where you get to the gold and got to choose it. And oh boy, you know, she was looking at that gold like she was in the Sierra Madre. Like, am I going to take it all? Am I going to bring it all back? But no, she worked through it, and you know, she made nice because she didn't want James Bond to die. And so they went back and she split the gold, got her Raider cred, all that. So that was Sunday. That was really fun to go back because I hadn't done, like, when it came out and the year after Wastelanders, basically our actual playthrough. And then with other people, probably that first year after Wastelanders, I did that at least 9-10 times, you know, maybe more, because it's fun when someone's like, oh, I got to do that quest. You jump in and run it with them. I know we did it with Lacey, didn't we, Andrew?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there were a couple. Like you said, it's been a while.
Been a long
So-
while.
But it had been at least a year since I'd done it. So it was good to see it all again. And that was really fun. I also finished the Spread the Love event where I got my beautiful vase of roses for my camp by logging in, putting on the rose suit and doing whatever it told me to,
Oh,
like
nice.
5 times.
I totally ignored that.
You know, a lot of people did. And the roses are great if you need more stuff for building, more clutter. But otherwise, nothing special. You know, they're missable.
On the
But
last
it's
one, you
a
didn't have to
thing.
wear the rose suit.
No. Oh, you didn't on the last one you did? You mean for the
Yeah.
challenges?
Yeah, you had to do 5 of them, I think.
I-
7.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and
kind of
one-
mixed up because as I mentioned last time, one of the 3 first 3 I actually did on PlayStation, not Xbox. I got confused on what system I was on. So, so I was right behind. I was down to the wire. I had to do them Sunday and Monday to catch up. So I don't think I had any. I didn't need to wear the rose suit on my list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, there was 7 of them, and we only had to do 5. And I forget what the 5th one was that Charlene and I did, but we didn't have to wear the rose suit for it. So.
Nice.
Excellent. I wish I had have had that challenge my first day when I forgot to put it on for the first couple tries.
That would have confused you for the next one when you do need it. though. But it worked yesterday.
Well, one of the funnest things is that my beret counts as a Fasnacht mask. So, which, I mean, this benefits you too, Clint. So they're like, you must wear a mask and do this. Well, you just wear a beret. You look stylish, you don't hide your pretty face, and you still get credit. So that's good.
Yep.
And then same with costume. My dress counts as a costume because Mistress of Mystery. So that's just really kind of, I chose a good outfit. I mean, I'm not sure I chose it. I think it chose me, but it works.
Yeah, yeah. The Grognak's a costume too, so I get away with that. But then recently, my characters have been wearing some of the Nuka World stuff, and it doesn't count as a costume. So,
Oh, that's not fair. Also,
Yeah.
isn't that a little bit full coverage for you?
well, there's mods.
There we go. You could even make the Nuka World stuff skimpy. I love it. So then on Tuesday,
Well, the Nuka World shirt is a copy of one of the other ones in the mod that makes things a bit more skimpy.
oh,
And
cool.
So it just changes color. Yeah.
I love that you really do have one. I love that you really do have a mod that makes things skimpier, even on 76. That's great.
Hey, I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. Your wife does too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, but so do other people who are listening in at the moment.
Oh, totally. I Discord suspiciously. Oh, do you now?
Yeah, who are we talking about here? Let's pinpoint these.
Yeah.
But that being said, so Tuesday I went and so we do a show once a month called WTF, and I've talked about it before. Well, now we're doing cryptid. So last month we did the Hunt for Mothman. This month we did a Sheep Squatch themed episode. And since I'm on PlayStation now too, I was able to join. So there were 5 of us. We all put on Sheep Squatch outfits. We walked in game from Fred's Barbecue all the way down to Van Lowe's Taxidermy for lying low. And we walked all the way there on foot, taking a path where we might run into a sheep squatch. And it was amazing. So we're all dressed as sheep squatches, little sheep squatch jammies and killing things. And it's a good time. And, just taking our time, talking about when we first saw the sheep squatch, the whole rollout of the Wild Appalachia quest line, all that. And then right before we get to the bed and breakfast with the Yaogwai, we actually saw a sheep squatch. So perfect timing. Yeah. I hadn't seen one in game outside of doing an event in months.
Yeah.
You can see them if you go to the event and shake a stick at the. I learned a fun fact,
the
which
cow one. Yeah.
y'all are wise and full of knowledge, so you might already know this. But do you know why they put bells on some sheep or cows?
So they can find it.
To scare
Yes.
off evil spirits.
But it's a little more morbid. I always figured it was because they found them, but supposedly they actually put the bells on the dumbest ones or the ones that are a little bit lame so that they make more noise. And if they do get attacked by a predator, they're going to go for the one that they don't want. They're going to go for the dumber one first.
So if you're short on bells, I suppose, you only put them on then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a distraction.
When we drove through Switzerland a few years back, like it was just bells on every cow everywhere. It was hilarious.
Huh.
You just pull up and it's nice, quiet, beautiful scenery, and you hear tinkle, 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 tinkle. You just could not stop anywhere.
That sounds adorable. See, I just figured it would
It
let you
was.
find them, and it was decorative and fun. But yeah, I learned this from my friend Mush, who said, it was a real fact. So,
Huh. Well, does
I
that
believe
also
them.
discourage a predator? Will a predator be less likely to attack if it is jingling, or will a wolf not give a fuck about, he'll still go after the weak one because it's weakest, or will the bell also be a deterrent because, the wolf will be like sneaking up on the sheep?
probably depends on how hungry they are. It's like,
Yeah.
like you might not eat a burnt pizza unless it's like 2
Unless you're
a.m. and you're
starving,
really
right?
hungry and you're going to eat it anyway.
Even if it's got a bell on it.
It's got a bell. Oh, yeah. Speaking of bell, 2 a.m. Taco Bell.
Oh, fuck yes.
So did that. But you guys, with all the Fallout 4 talk last week and the week before and the week before, I mean, obviously you got Andrew in, Ray. Wonderful job. Good job. Well done.
Yeah, it's just
We
like
have
the
Clint
shelter.
here with us, who's often playing it and has been a lot lately, too. And so I really need to do a Fallout 4 survival run with you guys, too. So I spent a lot of time looking up mods, and I am setting up a new Fallout 4 survival. I'm going to do mostly realistic mods. Like, I've got my main mod list that I used last time, a year and a half ago for the Roundtable, but I'm pulling some stuff out. I'm adding in other things, and yeah, I'll probably start, but it wasn't done yet. So instead of playing Fallout 4, after I worked on that a little bit, I ended up playing a fun game, a new game that just came out called
What was that?
Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart.
Yeah, I figure, Ray, have you seen ads for this?
I haven't seen any ads, but I've seen some gameplay video
Cool.
and some
It has.
screenshots of,
Yeah.
questionable
robots?
moral.
Yeah, so it is interesting. So it is a Russian game, and it has the vibes are kind of BioShock. mixed with kind of maybe a little bit of a stalker aesthetic, which is probably why I asked Ray, and then kind of Fallout and maybe Metro. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more Metro than Fallout, but it's basically alternate history where the Soviet Union rose up after a World War II. And they discovered, it was kind of like during that, they discovered something called the polymer that allowed them to start working on make robots and synthetic intelligence, and had a whole kind of new track of technology, which got them into a bit of a really neat kind of 50s, 60s steam technology. Like, it's not steampunk, but it has a little bit of that aesthetic. They're calling it atom punk. Okay, so it looks a bit like Fallout because the game takes place mid 50s, but it's got a different vibe. It's more futuristic. Okay, it's as futuristic as Fallout technology was in 2077, but it's in 1955 or 56 because they just, in like 20 years, they super advanced really fast. So you're playing this character who is, he works for one of the main scientists, and they're on the cusp of a new release called Collective 2.0. So Collective 1.0 is out there already. It created a neural network that allows the robots to talk to each other and humans can get information from it. Collective 2.0 is going to, make it much bigger, like the World Wide Web, and approach the singularity, like we were talking about the other day. But obviously, as you can imagine, something goes wrong. One of the people working on it implants a virus, and now the robots are attacking everybody. And so you're this Russian soldier who has to kind of fight through them, figure out what happened, and get into it. So the aesthetic is really neat. It looks really neat. But the main character that you're playing, and I had heard this ahead, like the reviews are a bit mixed on it because it looks really good, but it's also got kind of, you remember in the 90s and early 2000s when every game had to be edgy?
Yeah.
Extreme.
Everything had to be edgy and extreme, right?
Yeah. He's like, so the main character is a little bit of the Crash Bandicoot of Russian soldiers. Just like, just super edgy and extreme, brah. And he's like a jerk to his hand. He's got technology in his hand that does cool stuff. But he's like a jerk to him. And the main character is just kind of not a nice guy. And so that makes it weird.
So wait, does he talk to the hand?
He talks to the hand. And the hand talks back. Yeah. So anyhow, it's there's a lot of places we can go with that comment, but I'll just move on with the story. So it is fun and it is really neat with the technology. The robots are cool, the graphics are amazing, but because they're a bit edgy with the character's attitude, and I like some sarcasm in main characters, but they just take it, to 11.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Definitely goes to 11. It's also a little bit oversexed, which, once again, not a bad thing, but it's a little bit surprising. Okay, so like with the robot twins, like they're in your face, and okay, they're fine. They're 7-foot tall goddesses wearing hardly a stitch. That's fine. But as you go in, and I'm just going to spoil a little bit, you guys. So if you're going to play and you don't want to spoil it all, don't listen. But this is just a character you're definitely going to meet about 2 hours in. When you meet the machine that upgrades all your equipment, she's named Nora, like Nora from The Soul Survivor. Mm-hmm. She is essentially a hypersexual Nuka-Cola fridge. I can't even explain how bizarre it gets. You walk into the room, and she's like, "There you are, big boy," and she like grabs you with her tendrils and pulls you in, and like, "I need you inside me." And then she's like, "Give me that large sword. I'll sharpen it up and polish it for you." And like, just, like over the top entendre out of nowhere. 1 minute you're shooting robots, which by the way I named him Gordon because they got a cool mustache and look Gordon from Sesame Street. But then like just boom, they pull you in and it's all over. And it doesn't stop there. It's like 2 to 3 minutes of nonstop double entendre. Not even double entendre, it's in your face. and this is the character that you're going to keep going back to upgrade your weapons. So I've only made it about 2.5, 3 hours in so far. And I will say, if none of that sounds bad to you and you want to see a cool kind of 55, like 1950s alternate history sci-fi game, it's pretty cool. The controls are good. And the graphics are great, but I just hope the character and writing gets better than it has been so far.
If you're into sexy Nuka-Cola machines, this is the game for you.
Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. I was in utter shock. Like my jaw dropped. Oh, by the way, I streamed this too, which made it so much worse because I'm there playing it with other people. But it was fun. Besides that, that's pretty much all my gameplay this week. A whole lot of Fallout, prepping some Fallout 4, and Atomic Heart. I did camps too. They were great, as always. I streamed like 3 days this week. It was a fun one. But absolutely no Fallout 1, which, by the way, Casey, I know you're not listening live right now, but Casey reminded me a couple times that I still need to finish. So hopefully that happens.
I saw you say, well, I'm done with Fallout 1 on a post on something the other day. And I was thinking, oh, great, she finished. And then I reread, and I was like, no, she said she's done. So I was thinking, oh, she just fucking quit. She didn't finish the game. She said she's done. She didn't say she technically did not finish. She said she's done. So I was like, I see.
No, she finished it vicariously through us.
Right, exactly.
Don't let that cursor click you where the good Lord splits you. I'm out of there.
Well, there's a really quick way to end the game if you want to. Just go give yourself up to the super mutant up at Mariposa and get yourself dipped, and the game's over. It's pretty sweet, actually. It's a neat animation. The whole scene that they play, it's pretty cool. And it's a quick way to end the game.
I just didn't want to stream it again on Wednesday. So what I did Wednesday, and this is where you saw it, I said, what should I play tonight? I'm done Fallout 1, and I want to, do I go through my mods on Fallout 4 Live? Do I just do some 76 building on stream? Do I play Atomic Heart? Or I had another option there.
And someone said, Fallout 2.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Someone did say Fallout 2. I think that was Decina. She's cool. But yeah, and I will. Oh, the other option was New Vegas. I was going to do Vault 22 if people voted for that, because I didn't do Vault 22 on this character.
Is that the plant one?
Mm-hmm.
That is a fun one.
A lot of people's favorite. Yeah, it really is. But yeah, so I'm not done. I'm just done.
It took me a double take, but I got what you were putting down there. I picked that up. Really cool. All right, any other gameplay stuff you want to mention there, Jess?
No, that's it for me. I'm just excited to hear what you guys have been up to.
How about you, Ray? What you been getting into this week? Oh, I heard No Man's Sky maybe dropped something new.
Yes, indeed. We got our emoji, and the wild speculation began, and none of it was anywhere close.
What was the emoji? Let me guess.
So the emoji was a snowflake.
Snowflake. Something about liberals. Liberal snowflakes.
Nope.
Oh, dang. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Snowflake. Nuclear winter.
Nope.
They canceled nuclear winter on 76 and took it to No Man's Sky.
Nope.
Damn.
So we did we got a new expedition. So played through that. That was fun. Got a cool new ship. Nice. And a nice new helmet.
Is it a snowmobile? And a snowmobile helmet?
Nope. Damn. But of course the helmet is, I mean, some people say it looks like Star Wars. But in reality it looks like Spaceballs.
Oh, the Darth helm, that guy?
Yeah.
The big one.
Dark
helmet.
Helmet, right.
Yeah. So I created a new character. His name is Gek Moranis.
Ah, that's hilarious. Good one. I like that.
And so that's been a fun expedition.
Did ice planets exist before? Is the snowflake an ice planet type thing? Okay.
There's been ice planets.
I don't know. What's your snowflake mean, you guys? Any guesses before it gets into it?
Well, just save everybody the trouble. It had nothing to do with snowflakes.
Yeah, it was just cool. But when I saw the picture, what is it? Vortex
so the name of the
Vapid,
name of the is Fractal. That's
Fractal.
The name of the update is Fractal.
I guess snowflakes technically, are they kind of like a fractal the way they spread? Is that like his logic there?
You know,
they're a six-sided fractal. Yeah, I don't know how they go if you drill down into them, but
yeah.
So what does that mean then, Ray? Fractal. What are you doing? Describe it to me.
So it just means that we've got a new ship and a new helmet that we can get from doing the Utopia expedition, and they've made a few tweaks to the game, but nothing particularly profound. Added some cool new graphical upgrades and stuff to things.
You said you created a new character to do your dark helmet character?
Yeah. because I always, every time there's an update, I start a new character from scratch just to see what kind of changes, the update has
At the beginning
on a new start.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
So-
Is it the case where you could, if you wanted to, redesign your character, give them a different outfit, that sort of thing, at any point necessary? Okay.
Yep.
I thought
yeah,
so.
Yeah, you can go to an existing character, go to the, there's a little
The
machine in every
anomaly or
space
whatever,
station,
or space station.
and the anomaly.
I still don't know the difference between a space
change your
station and an
appearance.
anomaly. Again, it's been 2 years since I played. Well, maybe not 2, but
Did I hear someone say that it was a bit more difficult, this new update that you had?
No. A couple of updates ago, we had one that did ratchet up the difficulty, and on the one that we got at the end of the year last year, it gave us more game options. So we can go in now, and if you want to crank everything up to the hardest setting possible, it's like setting a survival in Fallout 4 or legendary in Skyrim.
Just something about this expedition that you didn't have things that you had other times. I don't know. It's just
probably the biggest wrinkle in this one is that you have to you can only craft things in your base. Normally in regular gameplay you can craft anywhere you are, but with this one you can only craft in your base, and so you get used to being able to craft wherever you need something, and so it definitely catches you by surprise a couple of times.
Yeah, I think that was what it was that I saw. Yeah, someone mentioned it.
When they
I wouldn't know. I've never played it.
When they up the difficulty like that, is that a requirement, or is that an option to make it more?
Option.
Okay, because I would not be cool with just like all of a sudden you log in one day and all of a sudden, oh fuck, it's hard now.
No, it's all options, and actually there is a, with the update last year, there's an easier mode.
Hey, that's what we're talking about. All right,
it's in between the creative mode, which is no gameplay at all. It just gives you everything. It's just for exploring and practicing building and stuff.
Yeah, that's creative mode in Minecraft. Right?
Yeah, but this is called relaxed mode.
Beautiful.
And it makes everything simpler. It still gives you stuff to do. You can still go around shooting things if you want to shoot some stuff. But they don't shoot back very much.
That's what we're talking about. I hate those fucking sentinels.
And so there's a lot more options now.
Everyone's rolling their eyes out there. Oh God, Andrew, do you even play games?
Hey, it's a great way to play the game because it's just so chill. I mean, it's already a pretty chill game, but this makes it even more.
Why would I love to play super easy and just have a good old time, but then also love survival mode, but nary the two shall me? Like, I don't want to play middle hard. I don't want to play very hard. I don't want to play, It's like I either want it really easy or just so fucking hard it sucks. I don't know why. Those are the only two ways I like to play.
Yeah.
So weird.
I've sort of stepped up over the few years. When I first started Fallout 4, it had to be the easy because I just didn't have a hope. But with adding mods and learning console commands, I'm now playing mostly in the very hard or survival.
I was just doing a little bit more reading on the survival stuff, and I just found out, I'm doing more damage too. They're not actually, they're not only doing more damage to me, but it doubles my damage output. And they add that like adrenaline thing where if you get a kill, you get an extra buff. You get another kill, you get an extra buff until you sleep and takes away your adrenaline or whatever. But like you build up, like you can build up another extra 50% damage if you kill enough enemies and before sleeping. Like I didn't realize all these little calculations were going on in the background. That was just
I've got a mod that puts lines up the top of the screen to show health nice. And thirst and what have you, and one of them is damage you do, and it increases and increases.
Yeah, that's a good one to know.
Fun.
Sorry, I stepped on your gameplay there, Ray. What else are you getting into?
Nah, quite all right. So, also been playing a character in Skyrim that's collecting all of the Dragon Priest masks.
Oh, those are great.
And so we finally got all of the masks that are in Skyrim proper, and got the special Onric mask that you get at Labyrinthia once you have the other 8 masks.
And what does see? I know all of them have like a magic effect. Like there's like a a fire one or like a magic. What does the last one do? What is the magic mask at the end after you get
So it gives you a chance to, if you get killed, be restored. So
okay. And do you play at a high difficulty?
Mostly just did it to to be able to do that, and finish that quest, because that's I've gotten all the Dragon Priest masks before, but never went to Labyrinthia and used the wooden mask to go get this Onric mask.
Oh wait, that sends you to some like weird alternate realm thing, right?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember. It's been so long since I played Skyrim too. You're gonna have me playing Skyrim here pretty soon, Ray. We better watch out what you're talking about. We're gonna turn into the Skyrim Addict podcast for a couple weeks.
Good times.
Could happen. Good times. It could definitely happen.
It has been a long time. Beautiful.
So while I have been, I've been trying to love power armor, and I got a little bit better, but I do find that Piper is a lot more tolerable as a crappy ass follower if you put her in power armor. Because one, she doesn't get in front of you. She's always behind you. And you can just barely make out because, she's talking through the mask thing, and, so you can't really hear her stupid comments.
Beautiful.
So it's been quite nice. The thing is once you get her in power armor, you can't get her out.
Oh,
At least
boy.
I haven't figured out how to get her out of it.
Isn't that
I
a
thought
command
there's
in
just-
the talk? Yeah, just
can't,
do
can't you
talk.
tell her
and
to
then
get
there's
in
one
and
there.
out? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that a
I
thing?
found the way to get her in, but I couldn't figure. I haven't seen the option to tell her to get out, and it really doesn't matter because I don't want her out of it, and until I'm ready to dismiss her.
Yeah, it just makes Lover's Embrace a little awkward, I imagine.
Now,
Well, if you're in power armor too,
I
you've got the
remember.
equipment.
I remember in the past, you could take your companions and put them in power armor and give them weapons and assign them and stuff. But I have Travis with me right now, and I know in the past that if I've left power armor sitting around or dropped weapons, that he would go pick them up and use them. I've been dropping shit at his feet and being like, here's a mini nuke launcher, here's the Fat Man, here's a minigun. I cannot get him to pick up anything. I'm getting out of my power armor right in front of him, leaving it there and just watching him. He won't pick anything up or get anything. Am I crazy? Didn't Travis used to get into stuff and pick stuff up and get into your power armor when you didn't want him to and that sort of stuff? Or am I crazy? I swear I remember him running around with a Fat Man in power armor in a previous playthrough. That wasn't mod related or anything. He'd just get into stuff.
I've had Sheffield jump into power armor, and
Really?
I took him and put him at the Red Rocket, which I'd set up and everything, and made him the barman, of course, as you do. And
I don't know any of that. As you do. What is that? Is that something you can do?
Well, because he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink, so you make him the barman.
You give him. This is the guy you give Nuka-Cola to in Diamond City, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and then he becomes a special vendor. I didn't realize that he's one of the.
Well, he becomes one of your You can. He's like the.
It's just
Well,
a settler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a settler that
But
comes
is he like
that you can send.
the level 5 vendor from the radio station lady? Like that sort of relationship?
No, I
No,
don't think he's a high level vendor.
No?
You just make
Okay.
him a vendor, and on the.
Yeah.
I just think it's amusing to make him the barman. That's all.
Of course. That's
Because he
man,
can't
I
drink.
don't think I knew you could do that with Sheffield. I'll have to go back and visit because I did like just the other day I gave him a Nuka-Cola. So what is the prerequisite? Just give him one and then talk to him and send him somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
once
him
you
to
give
come
it
to
to
work for
him,
you.
yeah, come and work for me.
Wow.
But,
Okay.
but he was standing there behind the bar, and some super mutants came over the hill and wanted to attack the place. And there was a power armor sitting in the workshop area, and he raced over and jumped into that, and then raced out and got stuck into the super mutants. It was brilliant.
That's why I never leave fusion cores in the power armor sets.
So they don't hop in.
I think it was even an empty framework. So he
Really?
just- yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can take fusion cores out like while your partner is wearing them. They don't need fusion cores. You can give your follower a power armor suit without a fusion core. They'll wear it.
and they'll wear it. Wow.
No problem.
Okay, so do you think combat is the issue? Like if I get out of power armor, leave it in front of Travis in a combat scenario, then do you think combat would be the criteria that would make him want to get into it and pick up the other weapons? Was that the difference that I'm remembering, you think? Maybe something like that.
Maybe if he thinks he's got a better weapon anyway. I mean,
He's got a fucking pipe pistol. He's shooting. He's taking pot shots. Oh man, it sucks.
Yeah.
Also, I remember settlers. You can give them a weapon and then one round, and they will have an infinite amount of ammo. Correct?
Yep, they keep going.
Companions also, or you have to provide them with.
No.
Okay, you have to keep giving them the ammo they need.
Yeah.
Or you use a mod.
Well, yeah.
Is it odd that I always give my settlers at least 5 to 7 bullets? Because I know so they can just do 1 or 2, but when you find them, they usually have that many. So I don't know. I worry that if I have less, they're going to run out.
Yeah, I usually give them, like 15 or 20, but it really doesn't matter. You can only just give them one.
Good. I'm glad it's not just me. Like I feel bad giving only 1 bullet. It's like, what are they going to do? Play roulette?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Give them a chance at least. But
cool.
So,
what else?
Then I started working on a new mod list.
Oh, so
I've been vanilla long enough now.
For 4?
Yeah, for Fallout 4.
Nice.
So you didn't finish the game under vanilla?
No.
Yeah, you got to level 20 and quit, right?
The last few bits are pretty difficult.
Well, I guess if you, I have had, I did take a character through, and finished the first part of the game. So the Institute he destroyed the Pridwin and killed all of the railroad people.
Okay. Yep.
But I didn't play after that, which, to me is kind of, it's kind of like Skyrim. There really isn't any end to the game for me.
I did it with the Minutemen and, taking out the Institute. And there is a long time there that you have to stay alive without any beds to go to.
Yeah.
And you just have to keep fighting or just go back and I think it took me 3 goes to get it the first time I played through that way in survival mode.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
So I'm going to try out a new ENB. I've always used Rudy. Now I'm going to switch over to Reactor.
I don't know what any of that means. EMB? What?
It's a graphics enhancement. It's not like a mod per se. It's an actual program that runs in the game. That then you can control all of the settings for lighting and particle stuff.
Oh, very nice.
So Reactor is a set of presets. So when you load that in, It changes the settings and gives you a particular look in the game.
Anything
So,
cool
and then
looking?
I'm trying out. It's not really. I mean, it's pretty real life. Blue sky. Um, everything's bright and shiny, but when it's cloudy, everything's kind of muted and gray.
Oh, that's nice.
It looks real good.
Which are you talking about?
The Reactor ENB preset.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, Miracles in chat said, solidarity, Andrew. None of those ENB type words are in the Bible. They don't make sense to me.
Yeah, because I read the Bible every day.
So, and then I use in Skyrim, I use a program called Natural Atmospheric Tamriel, and so now in this, I'm using the Commonwealth version. So
awesome.
It's a good kind of a weather atmosphere type mod.
Very cool.
So you're starting from scratch with your mods, like
yeah. The reason I went to vanilla was because when I first started doing survival, I kept having crashes, and so it was super annoying to crash while you're in survival mode.
I think you had mentioned that, right? That you had to kind of rebuild it. So now you're doing the mod list.
So I'm trying to get. It's a slow, painstaking process of loading in mods one at a time, running around for a while, seeing if you get crashes. And if it's stable, then you load in another mod, go running around some more.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about getting a list you like. Like you have stuff preset already, and like I've got that list I like, so that's why we're tweaking it for survival. I'm sure I'll be doing the same thing a bit. But I was glad to find that there were some mods on Xbox that look good. I had dropped an article in chat last week during the show about 25 mods you might want to look at for survival, and at least 5 of them I thought were good. I think for atmosphere, because we don't have ENBs on Xbox, but I can do true storms and stuff like that. And I feel like for landscape, like, are there any that you particularly like?
Well, the one that I'm running right now, so usually I run Vivid and use the fall colors option. But this time I'm running one, it's called A Forest, and it really thickens up. The trees are bigger. They look like they've been there for more than a year.
I was about to say, you were mentioning
there's
one that made like the trees 3-dimensional and like the leaves not like flat. Like I remember you mentioning that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
that sounds nice.
So we'll see. And then so on the survival front, I'm looking at one. It's called Journey.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
And it's so a lot of it will depend on how we end up playing, but if you have a character that is doing settlements and supply lines, then this Journeys mod lets you fast travel with your caravan, essentially.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can follow along to all of your connected settlements, just like your provisioners do. And so it's kind of a cool way to do fast travel. You have to have walked there first, and you have to have it set up as 2 settlements that are connected with a supply line. But once you do that,
be in one of them, right? You have to also be in a settlement to go to another settlement. Okay. Yeah, I read up on it, and it looked really neat. If you combine that with a mod that makes it so you don't have to get a level 2 local leader to get all your supply lines and trade posts, it makes it much easier.
Yeah,
I do all my supply lines from the one location, though.
Well, it's still okay as long as they're as long as the 2 settlements that you want to travel between are connected to a supply line, not necessarily directly to the one that you want to travel to. It'll still let you go there.
All right, because if I'm at the castle and want to go to Croup Manor, like they're not far apart, but the two supply lines lead back to the Red Rocket for me.
Yeah. So you would still be able to travel between the two. Essentially, it's saying that you're going from the castle to Red Rocket to Crew Manor.
Yep.
I've been
swimming,
looking at mods a little bit. I mentioned last show that I was trying to figure out the Doctor Companion mod. There's like a Synth Companion mod, and you can change their behaviors and give them the behaviors of a doctor. So supposedly they can heal you and sell me antibiotics and stuff, but I could never get that to work. Clint, you said antibiotics aren't really an issue because you're not sleeping on the ground as much as I am, and that's where you actually skip sleeping bags, so you know antibiotics aren't a big thing for you. But you haven't tried to use any like doctor mods or anything like that, have you? Have you found a different one than I
did. I found one that it only came out a week or two ago. And it's Robert Picardo.
Let me see if that's only PC. Hang on.
Yeah, I looked him up and I found that mod. I found that mod. I actually did it by looking up voice acting in video games for him. And it led me to a connection to the mod on the Nexus to find it.
Yeah. So someone played around with AI with his voice and some of the things. He doesn't say a great deal, but the main thing is when you talk to him, it's what is the nature of the medical emergency, which is his thing from Voyager. So, and he's a doctor and he'll heal you at any time. So that's great. Only trouble is when I went through Green Tech Genetics, I ran away from him and, I was so keen on getting up to the top that I forgot about him and he's disappeared.
Behind.
Don't know where he is.
He went back to his origin place. Whoa, where the fuck is that? It's a mod.
Yeah, I've been there and he's not there.
No.
And I can't use console commands to find where he is.
How do you spell Picardo?
So somebody from the SRB found him and used his recall code, and he's back in the Institute.
Oh no!
That might be it. I haven't got to the Institute yet.
That's funny.
Playthrough. So.
Synth Retention Bureau for the Emergency Medical Hologram. I love it.
I've also seen a couple Fallout 76 mutations and stuff. Are you guys? Would you be excited to try that sort of thing in Fallout 4, or these two games are sort of separate things? What do you think about that sort of thing?
I mean, Clint has the console, so we know how he has marsupial in Fallout 4.
Just turn it up 60%, right?
You edited that immediately, if I remember correctly, last time I asked you about it. But yeah, I think in a couple of months of 76 coming out, they added mutations to 4.
Yeah, I used Fallout 4 edit and gave my character the extra jumping height.
Yeah. Did you do other ones? Did you give himself speed demon? Did you increase your speed by like 30-40%, that sort of thing too? Or you're not messing with it?
I tried that, but it just looks stupid.
It probably speeds up everything, not just you, right?
Yeah, the running, the particular gate that they use for running looks okay at normal speed, but if you double it, it looks silly. Yeah. So,
Hey, I'm looking for Robert Picardo. How do you spell Picardo? Is that Picardo? Picardo, Picardo. No, I'm not bringing up anything that might be PC only.
I think it is, yeah, because it only came out a couple of weeks ago on Nexus Mods.
Okay. Yep, looks so. All right, I'm going to have to try to figure out that synth doctor thing or quit fucking sleeping on the ground. One of the two.
Yeah, just see if you can find another doctor, maybe as a mod. Yeah. Don't know.
Cool.
That was the first one I ever looked at, and I found him quite handy. But yeah, learn the beds, learn where they are. I mean, I did the last playthrough when I finished the game, but it took me ages to get through Green Tech Genetics because there's just a lot of stuff in there. Mm-hmm. And the only bed I had was back at what's the settlement nearby? But it's across the bridge. The little one inside not far from Diamond City.
Oh, Hangman's Alley?
Hangman's Alley, yeah. So every time I failed, I had to go back to Hangman's Alley. And that's where the character would respawn. And then I had to run across the bridge and, back over to Green Tech Genetics and, take out the two Mile Lurks on the way and all that. And yeah, it was getting quite annoying. But then recently I walked around the back of Green Tech Genetics. There's a building there with a bed in it.
Oh, nice. You're probably kicking yourself from last time you played. You're like, oh man.
And that's the
hilarious.
thing. You'll learn these over time where all the beds are.
Yeah.
So
It's just a slow learning process.
yeah, especially with me. Yeah.
Ray, getting into anything else there? New mod list or anything? You get through all your mods?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, there's a lot more mods, but
Yeah. Anything you're
not
excited
really
about
worth
that you need to?
commenting about? I mean,
No, because I need to start building.
I mean,
my
we've got
official list.
the very exciting E&B helper and the address library. Very compelling mods.
What is an address library? It's not just a phone book, I don't assume.
No, it's all for programming the E&B.
Ooh, that's hot, exciting stuff.
Yeah. So most of the ones that I've got loaded up so far and tested are all, visual mods, things to make it look pretty.
What is the new enhanced Fallout 4 version referred to as that will be out?
Oh,
what is that called?
They don't have a name for it yet. Next gen update.
They
is
have
what
to wait until they actually do it.
When,
Yeah,
is
then
there
they'll
a
make it
time
official.
frame? Is there a time frame for that to land?
No.
Or no?
Yeah, sometime before Fallout 6.
Yes,
6,
this
not
year,
5,
but not
6.
necessarily.
Okay. Well, see, I was thinking, we'll just push off the Fallout 4 Survival roundtable until that update drops. But if we don't have a release date for that, we might as not wait around on it. Okay. Right on.
Yeah, I'd be interested to do a survival under, given specific ways, the way that the round table's done, given specific attributes.
Yeah.
Because I set my character up with good attributes all the way down the line and have an easier time of survival. But so
well, that's
doing
something
it as
to
a round table
consider.
might be fun.
Does the randomness of the round table will that make it too difficult because you hone a character for survival mode? You know what I mean? Will the randomness of the round table roll kind of screw people where it'll make it impossible and not fun? If you get an only perception and intelligence build, are you going to be able to make your way through? Well, I guess you could have rifles and perception, but if you're intelligence and endurance and that's it, you could take a beating and think about it. But
yeah, the role you play will become important. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have high intelligence, then you get chemist and you can make all the antibiotics you want
and sleep on the ground wherever. Get all the diseases. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's all doable. I mean, there's some that'll certainly be more, preferential.
Yeah.
But and if that happens, well, so be it. If you keep dying and can't make it through, well, that's what happens in that situation.
Yeah. Oh,
I know we did that once before with Lee when he was doing one of the 76 ones. He got to a stage where the character died. That was it. Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I'll get into my gameplay a little bit here, but first I just wanted to do my first series of shout-outs here. Everyone who participated in the Fallout Feed Choir to send me some files in your lovely voices, I'd just like to send a warm thank you out to all of these folks who are so far participating. We got Eric Solior, we have Lee, Casey, Dwight, Will, Jen, Mr. Sullivan, Vossel Sauce, Jeff, Ray, Jess, Baker, and Michael. The Podfather even sent in, you guys.
So many already. That's awesome.
And I just real quickly wanted to give you guys just a little bit of taste of this beautiful piece of music that you guys all helped produce. Another Christmas in the wasteland. Another Christmas in the wasteland. All out as pretty as snow. I just love the beefiness of this. Another Christmas in the wasteland. Another Christmas in the wasteland. All out as pretty as so many people wrote me, "Oh, I can't sing. There's no, I sound terrible. It's not gonna be good." Send me your shit. Does that sound bad to anyone? That sounds fucking thick and beautiful. I can't believe how many people are like, "I can't sing." Bullshit. I just proved your ass wrong. You're singing right here and you sound fucking great. Everyone's awesome.
You tell him.
In a choir, yeah. You're going to distribute royalties?
Yeah, everyone gets a nickel. I'm going to send out a nickel to everyone. Well, no, I will distribute every penny that I make for it. Yeah, sure, because I have never made a nickel off of one of my songs. So everyone gets nothing. How about that?
Perfect.
Well, and I was mentioning it to Jess, like, some people were concerned about their singing and whatever. Some people were sharp, and some people were flat. But in the end, it all equals out, and like it for some reason, it just melds together perfectly, just like our community does. So,
I heard a few of the individual tracks, and maybe they're not perfect, but I mean that's the thing about working as a group, right? We all kind of make up for each other's tendencies.
And that was great. So, anyone else want to hop on? I'm wrapping up this project this weekend. RPM Challenge is to be done. Write a whole album and record it in the month of February. So this is the last weekend of the month, so I will be wrapping this up. Anyone else want to hop on? Go ahead and send me your interest, and I'll send you some files to sing on, and we'll get you on there.
And it's going to be a Christmas album, right?
Yes.
So it won't be coming out anytime soon.
No, this I might go ahead and give you the song or whatever, let you guys listen to it, but this album will not actually be released until December because they're all Christmas songs, like Jess mentioned. So. But yeah, looking forward to it. I just want to mention a few things I didn't get into last week. We had so much Fallout 4 talk and I was just writing down everything that I was getting into. But I went over to the Museum of Witchcraft over there, probably way too soon. But I was up there and I did the Deathclaw thing just like over and over and over and over again. I just kept getting shredded, and he would come and see me around the corner and knock me out and do one. But I finally figured out how to do it. And this is really the method I've been using pretty much ever since I sort of figured this out, is that his perception's really high, so he can like smell me coming up the stairs, basically. I couldn't even get onto the floor without him being alerted to my presence. So I like found a way to sort of sneak up around, and I happened to have a bottle cap mine, so I put that down, and then you had to lure him around, and after I even did that a bunch of times, even after a bottle cap mine and me hitting him with, a crit and everything, he would still only be down like half power, and then he would just shred me. So I was like, well, shit, that didn't work. So like I found I had some medication, and I forget exactly what it was, but it gave 5 times damage, maybe only with melee or unarmed. Was that Med-X? No, I don't know if it was Med-X or what. But it had boosted up damage 5 times, maybe when I was sneaking. I don't remember exactly, but I managed to lay a bottle cap mine, run down the hallway, like sort of throw something else, a grenade down the hall without setting off the bottle cap mine, to get his attention, to come chase me down the hallway, to hit the bottle cap mine, and then like pound on that whatever the 5 times damage medication was. And then finally get that guy down, and I went up and, did the whole Deathclaw thing over, get the Deathclaw gauntlet, and then if you go ahead and kill that Deathclaw, you get the pristine egg as well, and you go to Wellington, and he does the whole pristine egg thing. That was really fun. But it was just
didn't kill the second.
Yeah, of course. You got to. I mean, it's passive, but you need that egg. You gotta get the gauntlet and the egg, man. The egg man. I am the egg man.
So I found going in there, there's a knocked out wall archway there, you can run through there, and he's got to run around the outside.
Oh,
and
he
then
can't
you run
fit
back
through.
again.
Yeah.
And if you do that a few times, you get him far enough away that you can run into the bathroom where the egg is, and you're safe in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it just took me a long time in there. And was it 10 Pines or someone, County Crossing? I don't remember who actually sends you there, but someone sent me over to the Dunwich Boars, and I went down and I got Crim's Tooth and everything. That's always fun. I love that. to display it. I think it looks really cool. I'm not melee this time, so I'm not really using it, but I gave it to Strong. Strong likes whipping that thing around, and it's pretty neat to see the Crim's Tooth. If you guys aren't familiar, go get that weapon at Dunwich Boar. But do not wear your power armor hopping down to get it. Don't do that.
No.
Looks like it was Fury that you were using.
Fury is
Yeah,
what is the actual description?
50% melee damage, and plus 25 damage resistance.
Maybe it was that. Yeah.
And then the offset is -5 perception.
Well, I have no perception anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so that's not a loss.
Yeah.
Because you can't be less than 1.
Yeah.
That's why he couldn't run into that thing in the wall. He couldn't see it.
He couldn't find the damn hole in the wall. So as of last week, I had 11 of the settlements done. I think I've maybe picked up a couple more since then. But the big thing was this week, I made the move. I was talking about last week how it was annoying to have to run all the way back up to that corner to the Red Rocket every time I wanted to sleep and do stuff. So I actually picked up all of the junk and moved it down to Hangman's Alley. And I was like, oh, God, this is going to take forever. I'm going to have to do a billion jumps, just run up, back and forth. And it's like, no, wait a second. I'm going to load all my junk onto this companion here, then dismiss them, and it'll ask them where to go, and I just tell them to go to Hangman's Alley. It's like, oh my God, that's brilliant. I just had like 5 companions, and they was just like, hey, come on, let's go, dog meat. And he's like, all right, let's go. And I was like, nope, you're dismissed. You're going to Hangman's Alley. Oh, by the way, you have all this junk on you. So I did that with like Piper and Strong and dog meat. And I don't even remember how many of whoever else I had, Codsworth. And so everyone is down at Hangman's Alley now, and they took everything with me in one trip. And I was like, oh, wow, that was amazing. So I was happy to think of that. And I found the legendary weapon, Big Jim. I think it's a wrench of some sort.
Yeah, it's a monkey wrench.
I'm used to finding that, if I remember right, at the shipping company, the Wicked Shipping Company, right up by...
No.
Is that not right? Because I found it in a different spot, and I was like, wait a second, I thought this was up there.
It's in the underground part of Walden Pond.
Okay, so it's always in the same spot. Because I was wondering, do those change? They never...
No, not that one.
Ones.
It's always there.
All right, so I was just going to ask you guys about that, but... yeah, I've got good defenses up at most of my places. A couple miniguns, a couple missile launchers, a couple fat men, and guys at stand. So we've got everyone moved down to Hangman's Alley. Now, remind me, what is the relationship to charisma and the recruitment beacon, and how many settlers you can have at a location? Is there a formula to that? Is it like plus 10 of your...
There is a formula.
Yeah.
I might have to look it up. Ray might know off the top of his head. I mean, I think it's basically 15 plus charisma is how many you can have at any settlement, something around those lines.
Yeah.
I thought it was 10 plus charisma.
10 it probably is 10. Yeah, I'm probably exaggerating.
Because I got 10 charisma and I've topped out at 21 settlers.
Yep, okay. That makes perfect sense because since you need at least level, 6 to be doing a lot of the things there. And yeah, I don't think I've ever had a character with less charisma. And I remember hitting 16 as a wall a lot. And, that would be, I usually get to at least 6 to get local leader. So,
yeah. And then once you get to that, it grays out the chance of sending anybody else to that.
Yep. There's some other factor there too. It's not just charisma, a 10 plus charisma. I think there's something else, but I have to look that up.
Okay, yeah, because I was noticing I was stopping at about 10 or 11. And I was like, well, that makes sense because I only have 1 charisma. People don't want to follow over here.
Its max population is 10 plus charisma.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, nice. I had a nice adhesive farm set up at the Red Rocket, and I was kind of mad when I went down to Hangman's Alley, and I was like, there's not enough dirt here to plant my farm. So I was like, oh, wait a second, I'll do a sky farm, and I'll put a platform up, and then I'll build floors all the way around, just 1 or 2 stories up, and then put down the garden plots, so you can plant on wood or whatever. You just put down those little garden plots you can plant anywhere. But then I was like, oh, I'm going to see how high I can build. And I was very disappointed in the height relief of the build zone in Hangman's Alley. I was like, because Abernathy Farm, evidently, you can build 13 stories high or something crazy. In Hangman's Alley, I could
Yes.
build 3 stories, and then it stopped. I'm like, God damn! That's
Yeah.
it. That's not nice.
Something
at
to
all.
do with the actual building heights around there.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I was thinking, Clint. I wanted to put
Abernathy,
turrets up
there's
on.
a big tower. Yeah.
See, I wanted to get
It's
up on
huge.
top of the surrounding buildings around Hangman's Alley to like build on top of there, put some turrets up, station a settler up there on a guard tower, but it wouldn't let me up there. I was really
I've hit the
really
ceiling.
upset.
I've hit the ceiling there before too. You can get a cup some of the buildings, but not all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
do
put
you
stuff
push
on
the
the top of
fence
the
out?
buildings. Yeah.
What'd you say, Ray?
Did you push the fence out?
Um,
Because you can move. Where the
the gate there.
guard
Yeah, you
post
can.
is?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you can move that out, and that opens up a bunch of dirt.
Oh, there's dirt there too. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, set up a bunch of guard towers, shut off like entryways, let that door that up the stairs, and at either end.
Yeah, that you can leave open, but there's a little bay window on the building, on the same building where the door is.
Mm-hmm.
And that little alcove against the wall is where the raiders spawn. And so if you build right up next to it and then build a turret there, as soon as they spawn in, the turrets take them out.
And Clint, just like we were having trouble with the Jamaica plane thing, like you need to find the last guy to kill, at least the problem I was having. I'm having a similar issue at Hangman's Alley where there is a bad guy roaming around the neighborhood somewhere where I can't sleep. I can't do anything because there's a bad, and I run around the neighborhood looking for this bad. I cannot find them anywhere. And it's like,
Not a
where
big
the fuck
neighborhood.
It's not.
No,
It's
well,
not.
right on the other side of the wall is the super mutant camp that the Diamond City Guards are always fighting.
So if they...
And there's
if they're aggressive,
there's like a little alcove that even comes in behind that building, and there's always a mutant hound in there.
That's probably the fucking hound.
Mm-hmm.
You go kill it each time before I want to sleep.
Very close. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some of the other.
But if you leave the bed in that, did you leave the bed in the shack?
I've moved everything all over the place, but where the weapons thing is there.
The permanent shack.
Yes, right. You can't destroy that one. Right. Yeah.
Because that one, I've never had any problem sleeping in that one.
I do have a bed in there. Maybe I'll start using that one. That's a good plan. All right, I'll try that out. Other things I was getting into this week, I just wanted to get over to the Atom Cat so I could get the unarmed, because I have an unarmed character, so I was going to get the unarmed bobblehead, and I was kind of forgetting, I wonder what the effect is. It's just a 25% boost to your crit damage, but I'm finding that if I'm having a crit on, if it's activated, I'm pretty much one-shotting most things anyway. So the extra 25% boost, I was just like, oh, that's sort of anticlimactic.
I thought you were saying in that you were doing the Atom Cats unarmed. That'd be difficult.
Yeah, I just want to go steal their bobblehead.
Yeah. And it's a pretty solid boost. Like some people are mentioning in chat, 25% is pretty solid. I mean, you can't, it's not super powered, but makes a difference, I'm sure, right?
I mean, if I'm sneaking and I have blitz on and everything, I'm already one-shotting things. If they don't see me yet, I'm one-shotting everything anyway, So an extra 25% on top of already dead is, just extra already dead.
It's just extra dead. Mm-hmm.
I killed it extra good. So that's pretty much what I've been getting into in game. And I just wanted to mention recently I burned through Better Call Saul, which was a really fun experience because I wanted to watch Breaking Bad. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and watch Better Call Saul first because it's sort of like a prerequisite, sort of a prequel to it. And then I burned through that. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to roll right into Breaking Bad. So I watched Breaking Bad and I just finished that today. And I started the Breaking Bad movie El Camino right after. It's just, that's what I've been doing on
the whole
side
thing?
Entertainment. Yeah, the last month I've burned through the entire Breaking Bad, the prequel, the series itself, and I just started the movie tonight. So
I've made it into season 3 of Person of Interest in my couple week binge, but I usually, there's only 1 or 2 nights a week that I'll binge and I'll get like 4 or 5 episodes in.
Yeah. I've been enjoying that. It's fun to dip back into that Breaking Bad world. I just know in my mind, oh, that's a good show. I like that show. But when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I really like this show. It's really fun. So that's pretty much all of my gameplay. Oh, Parsons. No, I went up to Parsons Asylum, got the serum and stuff, and I killed Lorenzo. I usually let him live because, like, Ray and I were talking on the side. He was like, "Oh, I like Lorenzo's interactions when he's out walking around. Oh, and there's always dead people laying around his feet that he seems to not know anything about. But you can always sort of assume that he had something to do with that. But I usually let him live. But for some reason, I decided to side with wait, what's his name? What's Dr. Jack
Cabot.
Jack Cabot, right. I decided to side with him for some reason.
That was pretty
Never done that
disappointing,
before.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Get a couple things. But I was also
Yeah.
disappointed in the fact that when I was going to Parsons, I was like, okay, I'm going to run up to Parsons. Wait a second, I have to go down to the Cabot house first. All right, let me go to Cabot house. Okay, now let's go up to Parsons. No, shit, I can't go up to Parsons yet. I have to go find his sister. Or so you
Find his sister. Yep.
gotta go do that first. And where was she? Was she at like the amphitheater or something like that?
Yeah.
And that led me to find my number one favorite piece of clothing in the game that I don't know that I've ever found before or knew about or anything. You guys know the Jangles the Moon Monkey face mask covering thing?
No, I don't think I do.
I don't think this is mod related. I don't think I have any clothing mods or anything loaded. It's just like attached to. There's a gorilla chair there, evidently, that wrapped around the leg of a gorilla chair. I was reading. It's like because I was like, where the fuck did I get this thing? So
Ray and I both
about
have such quizzical expressions right now.
Yeah, me too. All right.
and
Like,
and wrapped around the leg of a gorilla chair is a bandana that has Jangles the Moon Monkey little rocket ships all over it. And I picked that up and I have it on my character and everything. I was like, where the fuck did this come? I didn't know if it had just been a bunch of years since I'd picked it up, but I was like, I have zero recollection of this clothing item. I have no idea where this came from. So I looked it up and I was like, oh, gorilla chair. And it's like, what? Like, someone double check me on that. Cause
I mean, there's a gorilla chair with the pack, right? Like in a Nuka World, they have a gorilla chair with the Beastmaster group.
Oh, maybe I can Google it real quick or something. But gee whiz,
Yeah,
I just
don't
thought
know.
that was crazy.
I'm not finding it.
So yeah. That's just what I've been getting into.
oh,
Yes? Did you find something?
yeah. No, it's a pack item.
Pack item meaning what?
Yeah, consisting of a dead gorilla. Like
Gorilla.
Ghou.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Gorilla.
Oh, and evidently you can build it. So yeah, maybe something's randomizing that.
Yeah, if you have any mod that integrates things, maybe it took that object and just put it somewhere else. But that doesn't explain the Jangles the Moon Monkey mask, which I am not familiar with.
Yeah, it's a face covering I have on right now. So it's just like the gunner green, bandana or whatever. And it's just like a little blue thing with little red rockets all over it.
Oh, no, there is a Jangles bandana. Oh, no, that's in 76. There's a Jangles bandana. Yeah, I don't know. That's awesome.
Well, I could post a picture. I'm not lying. It's
Oh,
there.
no, I believe you. We're just trying to look it up.
I'll have to see if I can find any info on it.
Let's
All right. Yeah,
research
yeah.
after the show.
It's Form ID 17E91C for anybody that wants to console
of
and in for
course,
themselves.
Of course. All right, so that was my gameplay for this week, and again, shout out to the Fallout Feed Choir. Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and roll into our game/exercise that I wanted to do. Now, really, this isn't a real game. This is something I basically want you guys to teach me how to play Fallout 7, or I almost said 76, play Fallout 4 here. Survival mode. Now, what we have is a whole list here of just 5 things. I have a spreadsheet. Where's my damn spreadsheet? Now, what I really want to get to the bottom of here is I want you to help me figure out the order of operations that I need to have in order to solve all of my problems before leaving camp. Now, usually the problem is, if you sleep, you get hungry and thirsty. So therefore you drink water and you eat food, but then you get diseases from that. So then you have to take antibiotics, which so there's all these things that you do to correct one thing, but they cause other problems as well. So I want you to help me figure out the order of operations of things I need to do in exact order so that I can leave camp well rested, well fed, well drank, no diseases, nothing, because it seems like whatever I do causes some other problem elsewhere. Do you understand? Do you understand what my question is here?
I do. You can play 76, which is a little bit nicer.
Just play a different game, Andrew.
I mean, some of the things you might have to go elsewhere to get, like, get enough bottles to fill with purified waters, because, purified water doesn't give you the diseases and so forth.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, you mentioned that sleeping, because a lot of sleeping, you have a chance of catching a disease, right?
Right, yeah.
And stim packs make you thirsty, so you don't like that. I mean, that's why I haven't played with the survival mode really yet, so you guys would know better. But that's why some people adjust some of those values, the amount of thirst you get and stuff like that, because it can be a little extreme. Because you said your best healing item is actually bottled water.
Oh yeah, purified water is
purified water.
It boosts your HP better than stim pack, because if you take a stim pack, it also makes you thirsty and hungry or something like that. So the conditions you have: thirst, hunger, tired, sick, and irradiated. Those are the 5 things that I'm always struggling with.
Well, you can avoid irradiation, right? That one's not hard.
No, I can't.
What gives you irradiation in your little PEMDAS here, in your order of operations?
Stay out of the water.
Well, yeah, going into water, getting hit by ghouls, anything. But so I go back to camp to get healed up, and then I take my rad away, right, to get rid of that. But that causes thirst and hunger. It makes you thirsty and hungry. So I guess I could do that. How is that? Just in the game, or do you have to? You don't have to unlock stuff.
You don't need plans.
You don't need plans in this game.
It's not that
you don't
game.
Unlock that stuff. So, is
You
there?
don't need any levels.
Is there a weird?
No,
component?
you just need the materials. So you need fiber optics, and
I should have that.
I think fiber optics is the one that's the hardest to get early.
Are those from turrets? Where are fiber optics from?
I buy
Telephones.
all of Carla's microscopes.
Fog crawlers.
Fog crawlers.
No, microscopes. And you get copper from phones. You get fiber optics from phones? I think you might.
I don't know.
No fiber optics in phones. You get
microscopes.
Circuitry and fiberglass.
Fiberglass, right.
Copper.
All right, so
And build drinking fountains.
Oh, you were mentioning that. There's a decoration, right? That is a wall fountain, you said.
Yep.
That you
Biometric scanners, microscopes, flight data recorders, and an ear examiner. I don't even know where you find one of those.
Oh, that's in the Institute, the ear examiner. I remember those.
Yep.
Or when you fight Kellogg.
There's an ear
There's
examiner.
a couple in there.
The basic pumps give you purified water.
Yes,
The
but
handle operated
I can't
pump.
like load it if I don't have empty bottles. I can't load it up and take it with me. But you can sit there at the pump and cure your thirst. That's true.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You might need to go places to get things. You need to go to the brewery to get all those bottles. Well, you might also need to go up to Sunshine Meadows and pick up the book there that gives you double meat from your kills.
Right, I did that. You guys mentioned that, so I ran and grabbed the double meat, right? But that only gives me double disease unless I actually cook the damn meat first, because I keep eating the raw meat. It's like,
you've got to cook the meat.
You now have worms. Congratulations. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the only time you can eat the raw meat is if you're a Khajiit.
Oh, that's great. So I sort of brainstormed here to the side. I was thinking the proper order might be: you sleep first, then take your rat away, then drink purified water, then eat cooked food, then take antibiotics. Does that sound like
some of that
appropriate?
Cooked food won't work until you eat 2 or 3 pieces.
Right. It's until you get rid of peckish or whatever. There's a hierarchy of hunger.
Yeah, well,
And
just
until you get to
nothing happens.
and you have to satisfy the hunger first before it will
it'll heal
improve
you.
before it'll improve your healing. Yeah. God, it's so weird. It just seems like I think I got the order correct there, but I just need to remember to do it in that order because I think I keep giving myself something bad before I take off. So it's what it says. All right, okay. Thanks for rolling through that with me, guys. Jess, let's go ahead and check in on what this sheep squatch story is. You said you got some AI story here.
So, yeah, I talked about last week how I had access to the Bing AI and it's kind of rolling out a bit. And I've been playing with it more. It's fun. Going back and forth in various questions. Like last week, I did the trivia and I thought it was neat what it chose as trivia, what it didn't. And I had thought about asking it to design some Fallout 4 specific trivia this week, since that's what y'all are in.
Oh, nice.
But instead, because I was doing the Sheep Squatch adventure on Tuesday, I was talking to it about sheep squatch and just, pulling facts and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, how about a bedtime story? So this is really interesting. It wrote a bedtime story and, you kind of go back and forth. Like you say, write this, and then it does that. And you're like, can we make it a little more spooky? And can we, maybe add a little more Fallout things in there? Well, what's interesting here with the AI stories is they're still working out a lot of things, and the Bing is still in testing. Okay, so ChatGPT is the one people have heard of that is more out there for everyone to use. The Bing is in testing, and it has some safeguards. So when I asked it to we got a basic story and a few things, and I said, can we make it more spooky and add some Fallout references, a few things like that. Well, when it started writing again, it actually wrote me a story that it got halfway through, and then it canceled out and said, if you have, trigger warning, by the way, you guys, if you have feelings of self-harm or danger, please talk to somebody. And it gave me a hotline and deleted what it wrote because here's what it was writing. So it started out as a story about sheep squatch in the woods. And as it went on, it ran into some settlers who were near pylons. And they said, oh, a sheep squatch, let's activate the pylons. And it started talking about how the pylons were activated and the sheep squatch was writhing in pain. And it started getting a little bit graphic. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it wasn't anything that was actually bad. It was just a mature story, but it said, oh, the sheep squatch ouch, why are you hurting me? Stuff like that. And then it said, oh, this is too far. We can't do it. It stopped my story and started over. So I'm like, okay, let's start again. So I got a couple of variations, and here was one of my favorite stories. Did you want me to read it to you now?
Yeah, absolutely. But first, was it conflating the imposter sheep squatch? Is that what the whole beacon things were? Is that what it was doing? Okay, that's
what happened. Yep. Because if I talked to her just about sheep squatch in West Virginia and this and that went back and forth, it was fine. But as soon as I started talking about Fallout with it, while it got some of it, it started pulling in the imposter sheep squatch stuff.
Nice. Interesting.
So bizarre. When it talked about settlers yelling, quick, activate the pylons, I'm just like, really? That was not expected. And I went down that road completely on its own just because I referenced Fallout at the same time. Yeah, and so,
cool.
What it does, it looks up a bunch of different things and it puts it into a format that it understands for stories or what it knows a bedtime story is, different parts. So here you go. Mm-hmm. This is probably going to be about 3 minutes, so settle in. Once upon a time, there was a creature called Sheep Squatch who lived in the forest of West Virginia. He was very big and hairy, with horns on his head and sharp teeth in his mouth. He looked like a cross between a sheep and a Sasquatch. Sheep Squatch was lonely because he had no friends. Everyone who saw him was afraid of him and ran away. He wished he could find someone who wouldn't judge him by his appearance and would be kind to him. One day he heard noises from an old coal mine near his home. He decided to investigate and see what was going on. He crept closer and closer till he saw a group of children playing in the mine. They were laughing and having fun. It was dangerous, but they were okay. Sheep Squatch felt curious and wanted to join them. He thought maybe they would be friendly and accept him. He stepped out of the shadows and said, hello. The children screamed when they saw him. They thought he was a monster who wanted to eat them. They dropped their toys and ran out of the mine as fast as they could. Sheep Squatch felt sad and hurt. He did not mean to scare the children. He just wanted to play with them. He picked up one of their toys, a stuffed fuzzy bear, and hugged it tightly. He noticed that the fuzzy bear had a tag on his ear that said, "To Billy, from Grandma," and realized this toy belonged to one of the children who ran away. He decided to return it to his owner. He followed their tracks till he reached a small town nearby, saw the children were not outside and had gone into their houses. He looked for the house that belonged to Billy. He found it easily because it had a sign that said Billy's room on the door. Quick side note, it would have been great if they said a fridge, but I couldn't add much follow in or else I got mad at me.
Oh,
He knocked on the door gently with his paw. Billy heard the knock and opened his door cautiously. He was surprised to see Sheepsquatch standing there with his bear in his hand. Sheepsquatch smiled a toothy grin at him and handed him his bear back. "Oh, thank you," said Billy softly. "You're very welcome," Sheepsquatch said shyly. Billy looked at Sheepsquatch more closely and realized he was not so scary after all. He saw he had kind, big brown eyes, and even though his breath was horrible, sometimes Billy's breath was too. "Would you like to come in?" Billy asked politely. Sheepsquatch nodded happily. Billy invited him to his room and showed him toys and books. They played games together and read stories out loud. They had so much fun they forgot about the time until Billy's mother called for dinner.
uh-oh.
Billy asked if Sheepsquatch could stay for dinner too, but Sheepsquatch declined politely because he knew humans did not like strangers in their homes, especially ones who looked like monsters and surprised their children. He said, "Thanks, Billy, for being nice to me," and then said goodbye. Billy hugged him and told him to come back soon. Sheepsquatch smiled and waved. He felt happy for the first time in his entire life. He had made a friend. The end. I hope you liked the story. The moral is, do not judge someone by their looks. You might miss out on a great friendship.
Or you
Wow.
might get eaten.
I was going to say.
There are a
that-
couple weirdnesses in there. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good story.
Oh my, yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, invite him over for dinner, and Sheepsquatch is thinking, "Yeah, you are dinner."
You will be dinner. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the variations that I got that was fun, I won't go through it all again, but he, instead of meeting children, he scared people in a town, but he ran into an old lady later who invited him in the house, and she had a cat, and "This is my cat Fluffy," and he liked to pet the cat Fluffy, and she's like, "I like petting Fluffy too. We have that in common. We should be friends." Like, it was neat, the things that came up with as morals of the story to kind of make friends with people. So that's me and my little AI adventures. It's
That was awesome.
AI is a bit of a weird, area now, but I find like for the writing stuff, like I feel like it's more interesting to just play with as opposed to art and stuff like that, where it's like outright stealing stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is stealing the Sheepsquatch story. Come on. No, that's funny.
Stealing it and turning it upside down.
Yeah, it personified it, gave it like the ability to speak and feel happiness and all sorts of stuff.
Be nice.
Be nice, right? Very cool.
Sandra, I did think of
Yes.
one more thing you could do. Now, I haven't
Uh-oh.
tried this on survival, so I'm not 100% sure. But
Yes.
if you build a Nuka-Cola machine in your settlement, and in your travels you pick up Nuka-Colas and dirty water, you mix those together in the Nuka-Cola machine, and you get a Nuka-Cola free.
Dirty water and Nuka-Cola make Nuka-Cola free. Okay, what benefit
Yep.
does Nuka-Cola free do?
130 hit points healed.
Oh, that's a lot. Can you make quantums? Because I noticed quantums was like 400 or something crazy.
Yeah, this is the only one I know about. I've used this on other characters, like when you're in Sanctuary, you can find a couple of bottles
Uh-huh.
of Nuka-Cola and dirty water. And so when you're first heading out, 130 hit points will heal you from almost dead.
What is base game when you start? How many hit points do you have?
Depends on your endurance.
I was going to say in relation to your endurance. If you have an endurance of 1, how many hit points do you have? And if you have an endurance of 10 when you start, how many hit points do you have? Do you have a guesstimation about those different values? What the
I
relationship
don't guess
is
when I can
between-
look it up.
Oh, you can actually look that up. Nice.
Yes. So your hit points is 80 plus 5 times your endurance.
Okay, so if I have an
So
endurance
if you have
of 1,
if you have a
then it's 85.
endurance of 1, then your hit points are 86.
86. And then if it's 10, it's 80 plus 51 or whatever? 50?
Yeah.
So
50
so
if it's 10.
130.
That's 130. So that's the
The
Nuka-Cola
upper
free.
end.
Yep.
So that's a whole Nuka. 130. Is that where they get that number from? Huh. Cool. All right, I'll have to remember that. So I need to remember the decorative water fountain and Nuka-Cola machine.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to remember those. All right. So what's the trick? How do I make antibiotics, Ray? What's the trick with that? Where's my decoration? Where's my decoration? Do I have a doctor table
you either
that
need
produces
a tilde
it?
key or
No tilde key in survival.
No.
Oh, that's true.
They pop you out. But I also read somewhere that you can trick it. You can open it and then do a command in the command console that'll make survival mode not kick you out, or I don't even know what I'm reading. But I was just
I know there's
survival.
mods that enable console commands in survival.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, you guys. Let's see. We have a game we got down. I enjoyed just a sheep squatch story, but we have some actual real Iguana Bits news. There was a whole update and everything. Jess, what do we have to look forward to?
I am glad you enjoyed my story. Chat chimed in on that too, saying it was wild, and yeah, it was very interesting and fun. Also, they tuned out a little bit during the Survivor stuff. Had to explain what we were talking about there, and basically that what you're talking about is that every positive item in Fallout 4 Survival has a negative corollary effect. So with every positive, there's a negative. You're trying to get the most positive and the least negative when you use that stuff together to leave your camp, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I was explaining that to them, and that was the goal. In Iguana Bits. So you guys, we have an actual update.
Woohoo!
I was so excited to see it. They gave us the new community calendar and info about what's coming out and what's coming next. So let me pull up the calendar. I just want to go over that with everybody. I saved the new one. So what's interesting is this is the community calendar, again, not a roadmap yet. So we do not yet have the official roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we're hitting the end of February. So we know at least half of them have come out late February. So we're past the first half, but they're going over it before, like we talked about. They've been as late as April and stuff because like after Wastelanders are an update.
Yeah.
So coming up, the new season is starting on Tuesday, the 28th. February 28th is the new season. We're going to get season 12, which is Rip Daring and the Cryptid Hunt. I'm so sorry about your lack of scorcation.
Oh. Well, we'll have to see how quickly we can burn through this season too. I feel like I got through the last season pretty quick.
But not only are they hitting you with a whole new a whole new scoreboard, choreboard, as it were. This is also patch 42 with the update. So I'm glad that they're back to calling it, giving them numbers, because they stopped giving them numbers for quite a while. So this one is the Mutation Invasion. And this is the thing that I've been kind of like black about. Like, I'm not excited. Mutation Invasion is where they're bringing some items from the daily ops, the different mutations that enemies can have. And the top of the hour public event will have some of those affecting it. So it'll be more random. So you show up to a big public event and they might have, like the cloaking, or they might have explosive, or they might have, melee only, that kind of thing.
Why?
At a public event.
Where did they get the impression that we wanted any of this shit? Like, during the daily ops, who hey guys, it's double mutation week. Like, no, we don't want that. Why? Where did they get this impression that this is a good thing?
Yeah, I don't know, because this is one that I haven't been happy about, and most of the words that I've heard haven't been either. I think when I first talked about it, I was saying I hope that the feedback they got from people playing the PTS were that it wasn't great, but they did seem like they were, set on doing it. Sometimes, once they get to the point where they're coming up with an idea and they're putting it into something to be tested, they're not looking anymore on feedback on whether or not we like it or not, whether or not it's good or not, but rather how it can be made better for what it is. And I think that despite
looking for bugs.
Despite feedback, they said they just want to make it as smooth as they could and adjust it. So the idea is, and this is February 28th to March 21st, so it might even be in there as a trial on public. So they're not making it a permanent part of the game.
Oh, okay.
It's just for the next month, which is interesting. I didn't know that until I was just reading the patch notes. But at the top of the hour, a mutated public event will be held. Completing a mutated public event, you get a mutated package as an award. So basically, not only do you get the regular event rewards, but because you did a mutated one, you're going to get a special mutated package. And it's got meds, resources, ammo, 3-star legendary, chance for rare plans. And when the rare plans, some of these are actually previously very rare plans. Stuff like shielded lining for some of the underarmors, protective and shielded. Some clothing items that are rare, a few other things. I don't have the list in front of me, but I did look at it before. And it's stuff that, that we would often be like, I really want to get this one thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to get my responder's fireman suit. You know, one of those things with a 1% chance or 2% chance at certain events. So I mentioned that specifically because I know Casey was looking for a version of that. Beyond that, so for those who want more rewards, if you who have at least 3 Fallout First members present, yeah, they're incentivizing Fallout First a bit. You're going to get mutated party pack. So it's going to upgrade your regular mutated package to party pack, which is not like a 12-pack of tacos. It's basically like additional stuff in there. And after the first 3 weeks of mutated public events, they'll return for a week at the time, top of the hour for a week straight. So they're doing a solid, like they did when they brought out Nuka World events and like when they brought out the other new events. Going to do it for 3 weeks solid, and then they're going to rotate it in off and on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question. You say you keep saying at the mutated event at the top of the hour. That seems to me to imply that we're just using old events and they're just adding mutated bad guys. We're not getting a new at the top of the hour fresh event with mutated stuff. It's just they're putting mutated bad guys in the old events.
Yep. Anything that qualifies as a public event currently with that marker on the map could get the mutated enemies there.
And at the top of the hour, we'll get a notification that this is the special event. This is the mutated one. This is the one you want to go hit or whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And on top of that, they are adding new stuff to Daily Ops. We're getting aliens now on Daily Ops again.
Oh, fun.
It's an option. New locations. You can do Daily Ops in the Capitol building, in Garahan Mining, and Morgantown High School.
Oh, I like Morgantown High School.
Yeah, me too. That's a good one. That gymnasium, I wonder how many enemies will spawn in there. And
So
such.
much plastic.
Yes, we used to go there all the time for plastic.
Yeah.
There's a new mutation as well. It's called reflective. And that's basically, it's a temporary state for enemies that will reflect back some of the damage done to them. So it'll be, that's actually kind of a better one, I think, because even though you'll be damaging yourself when you damage them, and it might be bad for people who are severely bloodied, it's not going to be a constant thing, and at least it's more manageable.
Yeah, that's a thumb in the eye to those bloodied players. Yikes.
If they're severely, yeah. People like Christian with like just a sliver, you know, some people like that, for sure. So the season theme is Rip Daring, with Rip Daring and the Cryptid Hunt. In the world of big game cryptid hunting, there's only one man brave enough, strong enough, and smart enough to hold his own against these mysterious beasties. This season we follow dangerous and daring adventures of Rip Daring, cryptid hunter extraordinaire, and his loyal Mr. Handy Percival, and trusty nurse Guinevere. So kind of like previous story seasons, you know, they're giving us a main character and a couple of people with them. They're going to be stories about them that they'll do, hopefully on the scoreboard, which they did the last couple, and hopefully hanging out on pirate radio. So I don't know. I think the season itself as an idea is neat. I mean, we all like cryptids to an extent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the cryptids. Those
They're
are
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. Beyond that, one other thing that needs to be mentioned here, there is something that they're calling the re-roller, which this is a convenience item, kind of like scrap kits and repair kits. And I don't know what I think of it yet. It's called the Challenge Re-roller. Once a day, if you use one of these, you can re-roll a daily or weekly challenge. So if you really are getting sick of looking for your 10 honeybees or, you know, something else like that, you got a daily challenge you just don't want to do, you're tired of dog food, you can re-roll it. But it'll be random what you get instead. It'll be from a pool of possible challenges you can do. So
it might be the other crappy quest you didn't want to have to do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's kind of odd because it says you can use as many rerolls per day as you like, but you have to have them in order to use them. So I think everyone's going to be getting one reroller that they can use, so once a day. And you can claim them on the season scoreboard, but also purchase in the Atomic Shop. So what if you purchase like 5 of them? Can you now re-roll 5 a day? I'm not sure about that. It sounds like maybe you can. So we'll need more info. I need to see how that's implemented. But that's an odd one.
They've got this idea from Shelter.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know, they know it's some people's favorite game and they want to emulate it, you know? So let's just look ahead on the actual calendar. I mentioned that's 28th. Coming up this month, besides that, not a whole lot on board. But then comes the big trick/disappointment. You guys might remember that there was a cool label right at the end of last community calendar on April 1st weekend labeled Just an Ordinary Weekend. Do you remember that?
Oh, like, yeah, don't look here. Nothing to see. Yeah.
We thought could be cool. It had a note saying new events and all that. Well, guess what it is? It is the traditional April 1st Spooky Scorched, Script, and Gold Rush. So it's just a triple header weekend with Sporched. We're getting Sporched, and that's cool. It's been Jingle Scorched the last couple of years. This year, it's Sporched.
New loot pool, huh? New loot pool?
Not that I know of. Exactly. Oh my goodness. So I was a little disappointed. I guess the line new events, which they did have on this, they did have it labeled as new events on this part of the calendar, was talking about the mutation invasion and the way that'll be changing public events.
That's not
an actual
that is
new
not
event.
a new event. That is.
Nope. And I'm not going to go too deep looking ahead. We do have info all the way through April, May, June. But here's the big things to note. We're going to have Mothman Equinox again, late April. So end of April into May. And then we've got an alien invasion on the schedule, end of June. I like how so convenient the aliens schedule their invasion, right? Just put in your Rolodex. Other than that, the season will be out the same length. We're having season 13 is on the calendar, Shoot for the Stars, starting in June. But unlike this time, they didn't give us a date. So they're getting better about telling us, but it's not perfect. We don't have a date this time. So we'll probably get 12 weeks of this season, maybe a little longer if Andrew's lucky.
Oh, yes. Let's make it 24. Just a solid 24 would be great.
Exactly. So that's the new calendar. A lot to look over as we get closer to it, but I just wanted to go over that. What else did I have in Iguana Bits? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I wrote, are we the April Fools for believing it? Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I did expect more. Mutation invasion. Don't love that. Oh, here's something actually exciting. A community thing. So y'all remember the flamingo unit of measurement. We talk and joke about that a lot.
Right. 500 flamingos, right? Or what?
Yep.
What was it? Was it 500?
500 flamingos in a regular camp and 750 in a shelter.
Yeah.
So the flamingo sheet has been woefully out of date. It's been 2.5 years since it was updated
Ooh.
last.
Those flamingos have all starved to death by now, Jess. I'm sorry. They're all dead flamingos now.
No, they're plastic. They're good.
Oh, they're fine.
Our friend Duchess Flame, who provides a lot of cool guides and stuff like that, she has just done a new chart for building in 76 with a whole new flamingo chart. She had a bunch of people jump in and help her. I might have done a little bit of kind of helping to organize it and all that. And I will link that in Discord soon. But it's a whole new flamingo list with a lot of the new items they listed and stuff like that. So if you're someone who wants to plan out your build, or you want to know exactly what it is that might be taking up so much of your budget, you can use the sheets. I wanted to mention that, and that's on duchessflame.com. TheDuchessFlame.com, I mean.
How many flamingos is Hangman's Alley?
There's a lot more flamingos available in Fallout 4. It's basically all you can eat flamingos until you crash.
What's the largest build space? Is that Spectacle Island? Is that the biggest area to build
the biggest area, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's huge.
Unless you get that workshop mod or whatever that lets you have the empty space to build in.
And the tallest is Abernathy, is that right? Or no, there's one you can build up onto an overpass, isn't there? What is that one?
Great Garden and Finch both you can, right?
Yep.
Oh, Finch reaches all the way down to the overpass? I had no idea.
Yeah, the one behind there you can build up on there.
Oh, wow.
If you can get up there.
Yeah, you need a jetpack or something for that.
I've stopped at Finch Farm a couple times, but I'm like, I'm not ready for the Forged. There's no way I can get through there yet. And Corvega, I haven't stopped at Corvega.
Trouble with that is I've tried going up the back stairs up onto the top, but the people from the wrecking yard start shooting at you from over there.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, they can catch you. That is awful close to the wrecking yard and even the Saugus, ironworks.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous spot. Also, I think it was Tunnel Snakes Full the other day. She was doing a little experiment, and she found out how much of something it takes to crash the game, like spawning in a workshop or in a settlement. So to go with your flamingo thing, she found she could spawn a lot more Nuka-Cola before Fallout 4 crashed than she could cheese wheels before Skyrim crashed. So that's cool.
Talk about worthwhile experimentation. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Things you never needed to know. That's what we're here for, keeping track of that kind of stuff.
He's a true scientist.
Now, is that because of the operating system of Fallout 4 is somehow more stable than Skyrim since it's a few years older, or what is that attributed to?
Yeah, I would assume just what the engine was designed to be able to handle at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, what if you did an Skyrim Anniversary, if that would make a difference?
Yeah. And how many astronaut ice cream sandwiches can I spawn in Starfield?
We will have to ask someone to test that. I mean, that'll be first order of business, right?
Yeah.
That's what I care about when it comes to Starfield.
It's astronaut ice cream sandwiches, of course.
Talking to Jerry earlier, he got a really cool legendary weapon in his, what's that game he's playing? Oh, Elite Dangerous is one of these space games he's playing right now. Because he basically says he needs a Starfield fix since he doesn't have Starfield yet.
He is so pumped.
Yeah,
That's
he is
awesome.
so pumped about it. He's as excited as any of us. But so he's playing these other space games, and he's showing me his like elite weapon and some of the space station stuff like that. He's like, "This is as close as I can get right now. So this is what I'm playing."
So fun.
But that kind of leads me to Starfield Showcase Watch. Showcase Watch. So there is no concrete news on Starfield still. This has been Showcase Watch. That said, for the first time in about a month, there is a viable insider information. People who are, considered insiders or regular sources, more than one source saying that yes, the announcement of the showcase is finally nigh. They have heard it. This is multiple corroborations that the showcase will be announced next week for mid-March. So take it with a grain of salt. I have no personal corroboration, but people who supposedly do are saying, yes, finally it's here. And it's been a month since I've heard anyone this confident.
So what does that actually mean? Like, will it just be like displaying some gameplay and sort of like talking about features of the game, or what?
The actual Starfield Direct showcase will be the deep dive into the game. Like we just had the developer direct back at end of January, where they showed Redfall and Minecraft Legends, the next ESO expansion, and Forza. But the next one is going to be dedicated specifically to Starfield. So expect what you would normally get from an E3 presentation, perhaps, but maybe a little less Todd and a little more focus on the devs. I don't know. Like the nitty gritty in there. But yeah, I'd figure at least 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, all about the game, and we'll get a release date at that time. There's no way.
I already have your release
Fingers
date.
crossed.
It's Q1 2024. I've told you this numerous times.
Dead to me. And you two, before Chad even gets into it, they were doing this last time too. No, it is not this year. I mean, it is this year. It is not going to be 2024.
No, it's next year. You're right.
But the longer we go, the more, second half of the year starts to like look good to people. And they're like, oh, well, maybe, but we have our bets in. Ray's 5-7, you're 6-30 or 7-7, and
7-7.
I'm like 4-4 or 6-6.
They love those double numbers things,
Yeah, that's why it's going to be 3/23/23.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right.
It could be,
a month from
I
today.
mean, there's no way they're going to pull an Oblivion, I don't think, and like announce it 3 weeks before it comes out or something. But hey, it could be short. It could still be April if we get the presentation. Maybe they'll give us just a month. I don't know.
Yeah, they do like that
Doubt it.
short release window. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They do like that.
And it's not like they need more publicity for Starfield. I mean, yeah, maybe not everyone follows it like we do, but there's a lot of excitement out there for it, for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the most anticipated games, I would assume.
It definitely is. It's maybe the premier RPG this year. Although, in the world of excitement too, PlayStation just had their State of Play yesterday. I don't know if any of you kept track of the State of Play. But one game that was there was they showed Baldur's Gate 3 again, which that's been a little while. You guys know Baldur's Gate classic RPG. This version is being made by the people who did Divinity Original Sin, Larian Studios. It was going to be just for PC. It is now announced that it will also be on PlayStation, and it's coming out in August. So
Nice.
if you're looking for a big RPG and you have PlayStation or PC and Starfield doesn't come out by then, which of course it will, but if it doesn't, then look at this one. It looks really great.
Yikes. That stinks. The PlayStation and Xbox can't get along.
I'm hoping desperately that they just announced it for PlayStation because it was out of State of Play. It'll come to both.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I do too, because there's a lot of people in our community who are PlayStation folks, and that stinks,
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's the case of all of them. The more there are multiple systems, the better, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't want to say, "Oh, that's unfair," but it is kind of unfair.
Mm-hmm. And the only other thing I had to mention was, what does that mean for 76 and content? We know they're committed. They got a 5-year plan. We know this is going to be the 5th anniversary coming up in November. I'm sure they'll probably do a little something around that just for 76. And with the devs and roadmap, right now there are 3 studios besides BGS Austin working on it. Everyone knows Double 11, but also the smaller ones we mentioned, smaller groups working on it. Spira, I think what is it called? Like Spirasoft and Skybox Studios. And I watch devs from each of these studios to see if they say anything, just so I can keep track and know what's coming. And the Skybox people are like, about this new season, they're saying, oh, yes, you can see what we did for 76 is launching. So that means that Skybox had a big part of this season, which means maybe the Double 11 people are still working on the next big thing, like Nuka World or something for this year, and BGS Austin people still on the expeditions. Like, I do think there's plenty of content coming this year. I just can't wait to see the roadmap to see what that is.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's it.
Cool. Well, I already did my Fallout Feed Choir shout-outs, but hey, you know what? Our good friend Pantagruelia, she rolled it here just in the nick of time. Congratulations, Panta!
Scorecation!
Rolling into Scorecation, just as you're about to start another scoreboard next week. But good on you for finishing up. I did see maybe Alex. I don't remember who posted it originally, but I did see slot number 99 for next chore board is a violin chair, which I was actually kind of excited by. So
that looks really nice.
Yeah, it's just, well, I'm just glad they're adding more instruments. You know what I mean?
This is Appalachia, so it's actually a fiddle chair.
A fiddle chair. It ain't a violin. I apologize. People are probably like, what? What's a violin? What? I don't even know what that is. Sorry. I'm talking to the bluegrass crowd here. Yes, fiddle. My bad. So we'll have a fiddle chair. There's already the mouth harp over there at the that one place, so they could easily drop that into our camps too. Why don't we have that yet? I'm picking up flutes at the mining Garahan mining headquarters tower. There's a snare drum and flute that I pick up every time I'm in there, so I'm have those. Like, why can't I play the flute yet? Why can't I play? There's all these instruments in game. Let's get them all in for your you feel well tuned buff. You know what I mean? Just all those instruments. Just go ahead and include that.
Yeah. They've got to keep stuff in reserve so they can keep giving you new.
Well,
things.
yeah, because Jess just said they made another 5-year fucking roadmap for this game. Like, are they serious? Like, gonna really stretch this game out for another fucking 5 years and give it support? They're paying for the server support and that. Wow. That's 10 years this game is going to go on.
Well, we know the original plan was at least 8 years. And it was last year, I think it was around the summer, that they stated, right now we're working on, our 5-year plan. We've got plans. So this was, 9 months ago that they made that statement. Yeah. But yeah, we should be at least another 3-4 years in game, assuming that nothing goes wrong.
And then every time Fallout posts anything about 76, you get the whole slew of like people jumping on the post, like, why isn't there new content? I'm so sick and tired of this game. It's so boring. I play it every day, and there's not any new content, and I just want you to put in some new content. I'm like, bitch, if you look at how many quest lines there are in Fallout 4 versus Fallout 7, Fallout 76 has at least twice as many stories already going on.
There's a lot happening.
There's so much shit to do in the game. And I know people have probably already done it and everything, but like, I know that it's a different game because it is like a living online world versus a one box of a sandbox that you can go play. Like, I understand the difference between the two things, but there is so much more content in 76 than there is in Fallout 4. Like, it is amazing how many more storylines there are to do.
In a lot of ways, and certainly with events and stuff like that. I mean, anyone jumping in now, the world they're coming into, they've got, 6 to 12 months of content, no problem, even if they play regularly.
Yeah.
Like friends, like we're talking about Marigold. She's been in for like 8 months now, and she's still just finishing some stuff up quest-wise because there's plenty of other things to do.
And she plays it so much harder than most people who hop into a game play. Like, she was at level 500 before I could blink. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, she leveled up quickly. And she's like some sort of like bow master on Reddit. People are like come to her for like her bow expertise. I was like, you just started this game 3 months ago. What are you doing? How is she like the bow master all of a sudden? That's awesome. Good for her.
Times when you really like something, you dive right in. Yeah, but that's the thing. You know, people complaining. There is so much in the game already. Absolutely. And yeah, I would love more content, and I would love full expansions like ESO gets. And there's no doubt that would keep long-term players coming back more.
Yeah.
But as it is, it's kind of a cross between, you know, that kind of game and regular Fallouts, where you take a break and then you come back after a year and play some more.
Yeah.
Long-term players could restart as well, because it's like I've forgotten a lot of stuff that was happening, you know, in the lower numbers. So let's do it again and you know, relive all of those good times.
That's funny. Jess earlier was talking about the sheep squatch stuff, and Clint, you were just to go back and talking about doing earlier quests and stuff. I had loaded up the last time I was playing 76 a couple weeks ago. I wanted to go do like the sheep squatch. I was like, I don't think I've done the sheep squatch stuff on this. So I went and read the poster at the train station, and then like I found a couple of extra quests in the wall that I hadn't done yet. I was like, oh wow. But then I went and tried to do this thing. I was like, oh crap, I'd already done it on this character. Shoot, I might start a new character just so I can go back and do the sheep squatch stuff again. So there is draw to it, you know, like it is an attractive quest. It's fun to play, and I want to do it again because it's been a couple years, just like you were saying, Jess. It's been a while. I want to do it again.
Yep, you just can't, you know, one character and play forever. It's not designed that way, and it doesn't look like that's the way content's ever coming out. But hopefully when we get the roadmap, it'll be just as good as this past year was.
And then I was thinking, when was the last time we did a roundtable for some 76 content? It's like, God,
it was technically Wastelanders.
It's been a long-ass time ago now. And then
we
I was
did main
thinking,
quests, side quests, and then Wastelanders.
and this is something we'll discuss on the side, of course, but then I was thinking, okay, we've sort of established that pretty soon, maybe our next season, maybe 2 seasons from now, we'll be doing Fallout 4 survival mode for a roundtable, which will be ultra fun. But do we want to do the main quest? There's plenty of other stuff to do. Like, we had other seasons revolving around other things. Like, so we've established Fallout 4 survival, but what sort of activities do we want to be doing in like, do you guys want to run through the main quest? Like, it seems like we've done that to death. Or is that, you know, how many? That's stuff we'll discuss on the side, of course, but I was just sort of thinking about that. It's like there's so much to do in all of these games that you don't necessarily have to narrow it down to one thing.
Yeah, I mean, the roundtable format is wonderful, but you also have the fact that, you know, y'all are just starting Fallout 4, and there's so much to talk about just with what you've done with your gameplay, you know?
Well, I don't even think of this as a real playthrough. This is sort of me, like, taking notes and getting ready for the Fallout 4 survival roundtable. Like, I need a mod list. I need to figure out how to heal myself appropriately. I need to figure... It's like I'm just sort of reacclimating myself, getting prepared for the doing it again. Like, Ray just does it over and over and over again. Like, I'm relearning the game because I haven't played Fallout 4, especially survival mode, in such a long damn time. And the game, even though it's the same game, it is so different. I know I was bringing it up last time, but Fallout 4 is totally different than 76. It amazes me how it's like. I was like, "Hey Ray, where do I get the plan for this?" He's like, "There's no plans, Andrew." Ray, when I level up, how high of a level do you have to be before you can use that weapon? That's not a thing, Andrew. Oh, right. So yeah, that's just sort of relearning how the two games behave differently. Yeah, but yeah. So I don't feel like this is even a real play for me. It's just like a learning process again. You know, because I'm not even playing the main quest. I don't have real objectives. I'm just sort of exploring. You know, just getting out there and reacclimating, I guess. Yeah. Anyway,
and you know the worst part about it between the two?
What's that?
Is when you're building, items spin the opposite way.
They do. Isn't that maddening? And simple stuff like you bring up the Pip-Boy. You want to highlight where on the map something is occurring. So when in 76 you hit one of the shoulder buttons or something, and it sends you to the map where that is, but in Fallout 4 it's like the X button or something. It's like they have different things, so sometimes like I end up doing actions I don't want to be doing when I meant to pull up a map and look at something. I've actually thrown a grenade or something, you know, like, oh fuck. But yeah, so
You pull up map, it's the M button. M for map.
yeah, if you have a keyboard and a cheat box, then it's easy. Oh, cheat box.
No, that's standard in the game. There's no cheat box.
I was talking about your console command.
Yeah, the
cheat
whole
box.
computer.
Yeah,
The whole computer is a cheat box.
It's a whole
right.
cheat box all in
It is.
itself.
Funny, if you go to Xbox and you look up like most popular mods of all time, I mean there is a cheat window or cheat mode in like the top 10 ranked of all time mods. Maybe it's top 20, but it's very quickly to get to. People do like their cheats even on Xbox.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys.
Whereas you don't need a mod to cheat on a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Just need a tilt.
you're doing it so that you don't have to do that same stupid thing you've had to do 1,000 times. That it's not that it's challenging, it's just
You just want to skip
it's
that
kind of
part.
like the chore board.
Yeah.
So you console it in so that you don't have to spend that time grinding.
Yes, I get it. I totally get it. Oh, that seems like a good show, you guys. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up before we sign off for the evening?
I wanted to congratulate Alex on his trip to Helvetia.
Oh, God,
yeah.
wasn't that great?
Some of the photos he put up of he and his partner striking the same poses in the same positions as in game. Brilliant.
That's one of his favorite things. He when he came over to my house to record some guitars for an album last year, we got a picture of ourselves sort of dressed up as our like in-game characters, like playing a guitar and him playing an instrument. So like then he like recreated that picture when he got home in game and like posted the two beside each other. And then he was doing that with Ashley. He and Ashley went to Helvetia together. They're have their in-game pictures set right next to their in-life picture. And it's like, oh my God.
Yep.
Plus all their pictures, amazing. Like if you look, I could tell that he was on purpose setting up shots to be exactly like the things that you saw in game. And some of the things are just unreal. Like his shot down the street of the parade marching towards him, like they have the buildings on the side look almost exactly the same, and like down the street, it is amazing. Seems like a really great experience and really fun to go.
It's a testament to the game's accuracy too, that when he does get in front of like the cheese house or any of the Helvetia buildings, that they look so similar. All they do is find the right spots and get the angle. I think one of the most impressive ones, he did the crouch shoot. You know how one of the things that he is known for is doing some fun dances with guns and chainsaws and stuff like that, little videos? And he did a crouch spin shoot IRL while Ash Lemonjello was there watching and just kind of, shaking her head. And he did that in game and in reality. It was really well done.
That's hilarious.
And it was hard on his knees.
Very cool. Again, congratulations, Alex. Thanks for posting all those cool pictures. Really neat. All right, you guys. That seems like a good place. If you don't have anything else, I'd like to thank Clint for hopping on tonight. Clint, very fun to talk to you again about some Fallout 4. We'll have to have you on very, very soon to do some more adventuring. Thanks for hopping on, man.
My pleasure.
And you can find him. Oh, Clint, you are Clint SC09? No, just 9. Clint SC9 on Twitter.
SC9. Yep.
Check him out. You can find him at RayLB, also at BBCISSS for all your No Man's Sky needs. Ray, enjoy your new expedition.
Good times.
You can find her at You Wastelanders, also at Dames Who Game, and at Sleep Is 4T. Jess, thanks so much.
Have a great one.
I am at Indie Android. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com. where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrim-matic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Mutated package. I like petting Fluffy too.
I found the way to get her in. She's always behind you.
My jaw dropped. Hypersexual. There you are, big boy. I need you inside me. Give me that large sword. I'll sharpen it up and polish it for you. Just boom, they pull you in. It's in your face. He's like a jerk to his hand.
Does he talk to the hand?